It's Wednesday, May 11th, back here in the studio for our biggest episode in a long, long time. Multiple guests, big surprises, and it is about the MCU. Wrapping up our review and take on the first season of Moon Knight in the biggest hyped movie in MCU town in a long time. Benedict Cumberbatch is back in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That's Scotty Scoop. That's the Giggler. Stephen Walden's here. This is Mostly Superheroes. Hello, and welcome to Mostly Superheroes. I'm your host, Logan, back here again in St. Louis, Missouri. Nerding out with my friends here in the basement in our studio. Hanging out with Scotty Scoop.
Scoop.
Back again, it's the Giggler.
I'm here. Oh, man.
And in the fourth seat, man. Big episode. Back again. Here he is. Very special guest. A guy who has joined us here before as one of Logan's heroes. Now back again to talk about those MCU titles. An amazing artist whose talent is just breathtaking. You got to see this artwork. It jumps out right at you. Only starting to paint in 2014. He's doing it full time. He does pop culture, not poop culture. He also does commission work. He's a TV and movie nerd for sure. His reviews on social media will make you feel informed and awesome. They are fantastic. We're so lucky to have him back again. St. Louis legend here with us in person. Ladies and gentlemen, gents, ladies, everyone in between, give it up for Stephen Walden.
Thank you. The guy that barked in the audience. Yeah, really proud to be here. Thank you for reading the reviews too. I didn't realize anyone did that. I did that for me. And I'm just really glad to bring diversity and just a different viewpoint from another older white guy.
Yeah, another older white guy that loves Marvel movies.
Yeah, the internet really needs more of those. It's an underserved niche.
Yes, man. I want to talk about you for a minute. You are here with us, second time on the show. Last time was Logan Heroes. We were in the midst of a lockdown, I believe, and you were kind enough to come on and join us. And we looked at a lot of your art online. You showed us the website. You've got us some stuff that we're going to definitely share on the screen. This is a time to be subscribing to our Twitch channels, which we are live on Twitch. Welcome to the show. We are screen sharing. You're getting some special treats here today. We also have video on Spotify and Facebook, but you also brought us some pieces here in person, which, I mean, I just underestimated the hell out of.
Are you talking about the artwork or the edibles?
Oh, right. Yeah, he brought all sorts. This guy brought all sorts of treats, ready to hang out, have a good time.
Pictures and drugs.
I'm thinking you're actually going to be walking in with like, here's my portfolio. I have this folder of picture. Look at this. For you video fools, this is 4 feet by what? 5 feet by 4 feet?
3 feet by 4 feet.
I've always been bad at feet.
But if we're going by dude inches, yeah, it's 9 foot by 10.
This is 50 feet by 35 feet. Unbelievable Iron Man, signed by Robert Downey Jr. Just for you guys that are watching us on the screen, for you two here in the studio, I've got maybe 30, so many pieces here. I'm just going to be going through these as we talk about your art. Why don't you tell us a little bit, Stephen, what type of art do you what do you call this type of painting? What kind of art do you do in this realm? And what's some fun stuff you worked on lately?
The kind of art, this is known as the period of where health insurance is expensive and I paint what sells. I love the photo you had up there of when I got to meet Chris Hemsworth.
You've met like all these celebrities: Chris Hemsworth, Brie Larson, Tom Holland. I mean, I'm just scratching the surface here. I mean, how many celebrities have you met at this point?
A lot. And Hemsworth is great, but I confidently identify as a heterosexual, male. But when you meet that dude,
Oh,
You feel
man.
things.
Magical, I'm sure.
Just something you might be interested.
He is a god.
I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers.
Also into the sports world too. Also, I see a lot of football stuff. You see some Cardinal stuff, of course, being in St. Louis, but not just that. You're into a lot of teams, it seems like.
Yeah, it's part of you're living in St. Louis, but working coast to coast, trying to have something for a broad audience, and trying to do a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. here on the screen. I love the sports card look.
Yeah, I like the Al McInnes one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, he made an appearance back in October at the Westport card show. So, and I was lucky enough to get that one autographed at that event. So
very nice. So whenever you're getting these autographed, you're meeting these celebrities. It seems like you're going to a lot of, I would assume, like Comic-Cons, trade shows, stuff like that. You're on the road a lot?
not in the past year and a half.
Why not?
It's just between me and my God, and I don't really want to discuss it here. No, but yeah, it's just one of the things. Like so many of the pieces recently, they're all private signings, which you send off your pieces or whatever it is to get signed, and it comes back. But since there's been such a lockdown, I haven't had nearly as many opportunities. But things are opening up, gearing up. Like for this weekend, May, what is it? 13th through 15th. Yeah, Fan Expo St. Louis. Big
Downtown.
comic book convention, the Dome. Yeah.
The Dome.
Gonna
Yeah.
have Captain Kirk there, cast of Smallville. The Clerks guys are gonna be there.
Yep.
So a lot of people.
Scotty Scoop will be there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll be there a day or two, maybe.
As a cast of Smallville.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I was on the show.
Yeah, you remember the episode where they were at prom, so a lot of the finales.
Oh, yeah. You were the one that went in the tornado. Got it.
Right. Yeah, I'm the one that Clark saves.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen
I
that
fell
one.
from the building and didn't get caught.
That's great. I love it. And yeah, we're sharing all sorts of your work. And I also know that you are a little bit of it's important for you to do charity. I know that
Yes.
I saw on your website that your ticker is going up. And actually I had a slide for that too, so we could show people how to get there. Are you still in the charity game?
Yes. Man, that's an outdated image. I got to update that one because that was, that's 2016. That's 6 years old.
Oh, so it's probably way more than this.
yeah.
now.
Yeah. No, we're approaching about $500,000 raised for charity events.
Wow.
But it took a hit, in the last couple of years because of there weren't gatherings, and so that's something it's slowly started to happen more, but there's still, it's even now we've got another outbreak with Omicron variants that I'm reading about, and so it's here to stay, and I think that people are just being very mindful of that, and that you don't want to give someone a debilitating, life-threatening illness at a charity event. So.
Sure, it's top of mind, and
Yeah.
everything is still in flux and
Yeah.
changing all the time. I mean, you talk about events, that's going to be something that's changing for the longest time.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
then before we get into the episode, talk about all these TV shows and movies, get into your What You Watching. I can't wait to hear about yours. It's a fun one. I want to end with this. We're talking about a lot of your artwork. We got artwork here in the studio. We're showing a lot here on the screen. You mentioned that there's also a raffle happening right now where people can win like a signed piece of your artwork. Is that right?
Yes. So I am raffling off. It's actually a choice of 3 different pieces, which is a thing I haven't told you about. But if you go to raffle or raffles.stephenwalden.com, raffle.stephenwalden.com, go to those places, go to that address, you will be taken to my raffle page where you can enter to win this 30x40 autographed Zach Levi Shazam embellished canvas print. Got to meet Zach last year at an event I did with Kurt Warner in Arizona for his movie American Underdog.
Nice. Crazy.
And I had that signed, and then I've also got you can win the Iron Man, not this one right here that I have with me, but you can win an embellished piece of that one, and then also the Smallville piece. So you can
Not this one, right? The
not
other
that
one?
one. The one that's behind me is actually just old Shellhead.
There we go. Okay. And then we actually
There
have
we
that
go.
one and the Smallville one
Okay.
here in person, so they can win this. And what's that website one more time?
Raffles.stephenwalden.com.
Very nice. Well, Steven, so good to have you back, man. Welcome to the basement.
Thank you. It's a great setup.
I think
love it.
you've heard the show. We got a little bit of a flow, and I love that we ended with the raffle so that fans, listeners, there could be something there for you. Great segue because we always open up mostly superheroes with fan mail.
Fan mail.
We'll always open the show up with fan mail, and we got some real special stuff to highlight today. First up, from online Twitter, you can follow us at Mostly Superhero. It's the only place where we're singular. You can also follow Harleen the Queen, who's been a fan of the show. since almost day one. Andy, you know this.
I remember.
She tweets the other day. So happy and proud of everyone at Mostly Superhero. 2 hearts. And this is not a tweet to us. This is not a DM. This was just a tweet I just found in Twitter. And I saw her name, and Harleen the Queen, Harleen Quinzel, gave it up for us. I'm going to give it up for you.
Nice.
Andy.
That's us.
Yeah, that's
This might be the 3rd time that she's been on fan mail, I believe.
Andy messaged me
Maybe
on
3
Twitter and
times.
said, I promise you this is not a burner account.
Yeah.
It's one of those that we're just so thankful to have you, Harleen. So good to hear from you. And the next one is very near and dear to my heart. I'm going to try my best not to get emotional here.
Uh-oh.
We had a contest we entered recently from a company called Racket. They put on a contest called Podcash where you could apply to win some funding for your indie podcast. Now, we didn't win, but we did have a lot of people reach out and say we really enjoyed seeing and hearing about your podcast and Mostly Superheroes. Part of the aspect of Podcash was they could take love letters from fans and family and friends and whoever wanted to click a link and write something nice about the show. I got a handful of these. The kicker about these is I don't know who any of them are. They're all anonymous. They all say secret admirer, and I'm just going to read them right now because they're short, they're sweet, and here they are. Love Logan and the Mostly Superheroes podcast. Him and the guys have put out a ton of great content over the past year, and as a listener, I get the feeling that they love doing it. The podcast has sold me on some movies and shows I probably wouldn't watch otherwise. Thank you to whoever you are. Mostly Superheroes is my all-time favorite podcast. The guys on their show know their stuff and are so fun to listen to. And that's Scotty Scoop. Yowza!
Scoop?
So that's Carrie.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think we might know who that one is. If I'm going to just guess, that's got to be your sweet Shanna.
Yep. I'm sure that sounds exactly what she would say.
Or not.
Or
Could
not.
be.
Or not.
Who knows?
Does she
Could be a
say-
secret admirer.
Is Yowza in her lexicon? Does Yowza come up a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the giveaway, right?
That's the smoking Yowza.
Dead giveaway.
Next one, Logan and the boys are inspiration for me to dress up as Thanos and embrace my inner mad Titan. Makes my 36 years alive seem a little less brutal and helps me stay in touch with the superpowers I hope to one day have. Best podcast in the game. I know exactly what it is because he gave me so many specifics and he knew that I'd figure it out, and I know he'd love the shout out. That's our boy Mike in St. Louis. Mike M, thank you, dude. I know that's you. And if it's not, then there was somebody else on that barsicle when we saw Avengers Endgame that wore a Thanos mask.
Mike Matheny.
I knew it.
Not
That's Mike. Oh, not Mike Matheny.
not
I don't.
not that
I
one.
mean, he has the free time. I'm sure.
If it was, he's like, but can you respect my privacy on the show, though, please? Thanks for being a part of Podcast 2022. We hope that you'll continue telling your stories, producing your work, and sharing your voice with the world. That is the folks at Team Racket. So, man, thanks so much for putting on contests like this for podcasters like me. We are independent. Everything we do here is brought to you by the people that give us money on Patreon. And that's where it all goes, is right back here in the studio. And when we do stuff like this, that's what it's about. And we will continue to make stuff. For you that took the time to write these and tell us, I feel like I forgot one too. There's one more in there too, I think. Did you write one, Andy?
I think I might have.
You had something real sweet in there. I remember it from the top of my head. I was like, this is either Andy or Carrie. You said that I'm one of the most inspirational people to you, and that's why you keep coming back for the podcast, which I just thought it was for the free
food.
beer and the free food. So
and
thanks.
now
It's-
drugs. So
Yeah, right.
that's how we get you. This is like how that Different Stroke special episode started.
Yeah, watch out. Don't get us in the loop with like Cosby or anything. This is Mostly Superheroes. We're almost G over here. Hey, thank you guys for reaching out. We also want to hear you. Give us a call at 754-CALL-LOG. That's 754-225-5564. We do have a fan voicemail to feature later in What You Watching. Next up, real quick, some news.
News and rumors.
Real quick piece of news. It is a little bit of celebrating Mostly Superheroes today. Got to thank Podchaser out there who put us in a list on their website, 50 podcasts to discover in May. You can find that in today's link description. Podchaser's been really good to us. They also shared out all of our pictures and images from our internal studio. You can actually listen to Mostly Superheroes on Podchaser. It's one of the many podcast channels out there. And this meant so much to me that I've actually included Podchaser on our website. So if you go to the mostlysuperheroes.com/listen, you can get a link to Podchaser there. You can also find a link to all the other 49 podcasts that you should check out this May. Not messing around, getting in What You Watching.
What you watching?
What You Watching? That's where we tell you what we're watching, what we're reading, what we're doing, everything out here in the real world, and we have a few fun things to talk about. First up, we teased this in our Patreon special where we had a special guest. You'll be able to hear that later in the episode if you're listening today on Monday when this comes out. And this movie is called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I want to get this out of the way. Scotty Scoop, this is your What You Watching.
Absolutely.
I want to give you the preference. Do you want to hear Cecil's voicemail first on this movie, or do you want to give your review first?
I'm going to go ahead and give my review first.
You're going to get that way you can have what it said, and then we'll play Cecil.
I have no idea what Cecil said.
I can't wait. All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, you haven't heard the voicemail. We should clarify.
I have not.
Yes. Okay. Let's hear it. So everything, everywhere, all at once. You saw us in theaters. Tell us about this.
Anybody else?
I have not seen it.
No one else?
I have not, but I want to.
This is very spoiler free.
Steven, have you seen it?
I've not seen it.
Okay.
Okay, so this should really be called the Multiverse of Madness. Because
man, today?
Yeah, of all days.
Today you're going to say that? I love it.
So, just basic premise of the movie. You've got Michelle Yeoh, legend in cinema, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She was just in Shang-Chi. She's been in a lot of movies. Crazy Rich Asians. Directed by the Daniels. Is anybody familiar with the Daniels?
I'm not.
Greg Daniels?
Swiss Army Man.
Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah. Well, the two directors are both named Daniel.
Right.
So they go by the Daniels.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Daniel Radcliffe and Paul Dini
are in the movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Produced by the Russo brothers.
Oh, okay.
So this is
now you're talking. Everybody's ears just perked up.
For real, yeah. Basic premise of the movie: Michelle Yeoh is she owns a laundromat. She's an immigrant. She's getting audited by the IRS, and she's really just this normal ho-hum person. She makes her way, and she's getting audited by Jamie Lee Curtis, another star of the movie.
Yep.
And she is married to, let me make sure I get the name right here, Ke Huy Quan.
Well done.
Who we haven't seen in probably 30 years. This is Short Round.
Oh, yeah.
And Data from The Goonies. And Indiana Jones.
My gosh.
Quit acting, basically, after those movies. And he's
had enough.
Yeah. Called it quits real early. He worked a lot behind the scenes with choreography, stunt work. Plays her husband, and some things start happening to her. Weird things. Her husband changes personalities very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "Hey, we've got a problem. The multiverse is in trouble, and you're the only one who can fix it." And the basic premise of this multiverse is every decision you ever make creates another multiverse.
Oh, so you're going to have some stuff coming back to haunt you type of thing.
So basically,
without spoilers, obviously.
There's some sort of entity that is destroying universes.
Something's up. There's going to be, okay.
And they come to Michelle Yeoh as basically she is a blank canvas and has made all of the worst possible decisions that she could have ever made. She has basically no skills, no real personality.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the movie, they teach her how to reach through the multiverse and harness other abilities that better versions of herself have perfected.
Okay. We're not getting too deep in here, are we?
No.
This is just like setup.
This is just setupville.
Wow, okay.
So, whether you were a professional bowler in another universe,
okay,
or a kung fu expert,
yeah,
or maybe you're in a universe where everyone has hot dogs as fingers, or everyone is a rock.
Yeah.
This gets really, really wacky.
Okay. Tell us what you thought.
I'm going to tell you guys, this may have been one of the best movies I have ever seen.
Where did you see it?
I saw it at
Home or theater?
I saw it at the theater.
Okay.
Yes.
It is.
So
It
it's
is
out.
not. It's not out on demand yet.
Okay.
And this has been doing very, very well as an art house flick. I think it's hit 50 million.
Wow.
And it's they even moved it to IMAX in its 5th or 6th week in release. I would give this a perfect score.
Wow.
4.0.
A 4.0.
Oh my God, we never had one.
This has all of the feels.
Oh,
you will laugh.
Yeah.
You will cry.
Yep.
There is so much action,
Okay.
and this is so well put together. You have got to see this before it leaves the theater.
I mean, there you go. You heard it here, Scotty Scoop. And with that, we're going right into fan mail. Let's hear what your boy Cecil had to say about the same flick. Everything he'll tell you.
Hey guys, this is Cecil. I want to give you all a call and talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's a masterpiece. Even though all of the pieces that you would hear about the movie, the multiverse and, an immigrant family and all of these things make it just seem kind of trite, but the storytelling, the writing, the editing, the sound design, the performances, Michelle Yeoh and Key and the girl who plays their daughter and just Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis is fantastic, but she, in my opinion, was not the best out of all of them. Michelle and Key, particularly Key, were just break out, just stand out, just absolutely amazing. I'm so glad that he has returned from acting retirement. But go see the movie. Yes, it's about the multiverse. Yes, it was done before Marvel introduced their multiverse, even though it just came out. But the way that Daniels, they do this kind of thing, it takes Swiss Army Man and just throws it just into the stratosphere. It's just an amazing movie. When you go see it, make sure you go in a theater of people. 'Cause it's wacky and it's weird, but it also brings out emotions, like really, really strong emotions. I don't want to spoil it because I know Scott has seen it, but I don't know if the other two of you have. Just go see it. Just take my word for it. Go see it. Thanks. Bye.
Cecil. Frequent caller of the show, friend of Scotty Scoop, friend of most of Superheroes, and you guys are on the same page. You got to go see this movie. Steven, are you going to go see this thing in theaters before it's gone?
Depends. Busy schedule in the next few weeks, so I'll likely wait and see it at home.
Okay. I like it. Andy.
Let's do a $5 Tuesday someday.
All right. I'm with Steven.
I'll go whenever.
I'm very busy, so why don't you just text me some dates? And maybe I'll go. If you push me over the edge, I'm one of those where like I'm already on. I'm going to see this. Will I go to the theaters? I don't know.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Scotty Scoop. Thank you, Cecil. Moving right along in the circle. Going to the Giggler. Tell us about this one on
Yes.
MTV. You know,
All
same
right.
family, I'm sure.
Let's change lanes a bit here. So this is Teen Wolf on MTV. Watching this on Paramount Plus. My wife has been wanting me to watch the show with her for years. It's one of her favorite shows of all time.
Mm-hmm.
At first I was very skeptical.
Why?
Because it's Teen Wolf on MTV, I guess. I don't know.
That poster's like everything.
I've never seen the Teen Wolf movie before.
What?
Which I know that I should.
What?
Michael J. Fox?
Yeah, I don't know why. Just never.
I mean, I think you should
know-
put those on.
You know me in old movies. I'm not good at it.
Well, maybe we'll get on the pod. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a newer series.
Oh, I'm
It
sorry.
hurts. It
I'm
hurts.
sorry.
Poor Scotty. All right. This is a newer series. When it come out, how long's it been around?
This came out. It's like early 2010s. There's 5 seasons.
Around the Twilight craze.
We are currently exactly. It's a lot of the supernaturals, things like that. Let's see, 5 seasons. They're usually about 10 to 15 episodes or so.
You've seen it all?
We're in the middle, about the middle of season 3 right now. So I'll definitely circle back on it if I feel I need to. But there's a lot of like, one of my favorite parts is there's a lot of like Arrowverse people in this.
Like actors?
Yeah.
Is this a Greg Berlanti joint then? Does he also
I think
do it?
so. Yeah.
That would explain, the incredible gayness of it.
Colton,
Are they filming in Vancouver?
Colton Haynes is in it.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
of
it's just high school kids. Obviously, one of them turns into a werewolf, and there's a lot going on from there, where you kind of see other supernatural. Like each season kind of has a different kind of theme.
Is it also is like super horny, but like in a safe way, like
yeah.
for like horse girls?
Yeah, it does seem like
it's
like
sexy, but not dangerous sexy.
Yeah. It's like
Not
remember how we said
Cinemax
Titans
sexy.
is like CW, but like better. This is like in the middle.
Yeah.
Of those two.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a cousin of Riverdale.
It's what
so.
yeah, it's
yeah,
what
probably a
you
lot
would
of
expect.
proactive commercials in between.
But yeah, Superman, Tyler Hoechlin's in it as well.
Wow.
He's one of my favorite. It's way
So you're having fun with that.
It's way better than I thought it would be. At first, I was like, this is going to be cheesy as hell.
Yeah.
And it is kind of tacky when they turn into their wolf alter
forms.
egos.
I was gonna say,
sometimes, yeah.
how's the
I don't know.
superpowers part?
It's interesting for sure. But I'm it's growing on me for sure.
But
Like,
you're three
the
in,
plot keeps you very very entertained. It is kind of like the CW shows, like very episodic, like from one to the next. But it does keep me very entertained. Like where we'll be up to like midnight watching sometimes.
And where are you watching it again?
Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus. You're 3 in. You might make it back for the last 2.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna watch.
You're
it,
definitely
but I
gonna
don't
be.
know.
You
We'll
just haven't yet.
We'll see if I talk about it on here, but
All right,
I'll let you guys know.
Scott, Steven, either one of you guys gonna watch this?
I'm more interested now that it's Berlanti because I just love his. He's like the king of camp these days. Riverdale's my favorite hate watch show.
I still haven't seen that one.
It's man, just watch it and just make fun of it the whole time.
Yeah.
Have someone next to you so you can talk shit about it.
Yep.
Because it is that show. I mean,
Guilty
it is
pleasure
yeah,
kind
it
of.
is super entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But don't expect any kind of semblance of reality of
Okay.
high school whatsoever.
Yeah, I was wrong. No Greg Berlanti, so maybe.
I felt the
Maybe
same
not.
about like Vampire Diaries.
Oh,
I
well, then
watched
I'm-
Vampire Diaries, and it kind of looks like that same kind of vibe.
I'm less interested if it's not Berlanti, but maybe.
Okay, I'm still a no for now, Andy. But you know what I love about the show. Bring it back when you're done. Let us know how it went,
I will do.
and we'll get that rating for you because you can't rate it yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
There's, I don't know. We'll see.
It's,
All right.
it's enough that he's hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going
It's
back. For
okay.
more.
I'll be watching some when I get home
Yeah.
tonight.
Well,
been a
do
while.
me a favor and just watch the movies. There are 2 movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
come on.
forgot
didn't-
about the
I
Teen
forgot
Wolf
they were-
2.
Yeah, you don't need that
Jason
one, but I
Bateman.
think
Okay.
if you're
Jason
gonna watch
Bateman.
that,
I'll watch the first, and it'll be a future what you watching.
okay,
Promise.
you promise?
Yes.
I'll hold you to it.
Teen
I'll
Wolf-
remember.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our guest, Stephen Walden, here talking shit with us, basically, is all that's happening. Just talking about our favorite stuff. We had a few titles that you threw around, and when you landed on another reboot. Another reboot. Tell us all about the Saved by the Bell reboot. How's it going?
Well, more like how it went because it was canceled last week, and
Yep.
that's what made me decide to.
Just last week.
It was just canceled?
Yes, yeah,
1 season?
2.
2, yeah.
Oh, 2's not bad.
But still, the issue in this show is its marketing and how it's behind these closed doors of Peacock, and that's one of the things that's happened with this balkanization of all these streaming services. Is like, I want to watch X, but where the fuck is it? Is it on Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, some other, I don't know, Star Plus, Beta Network or
Yeah.
whatever? It's like, what do I have to do for this one? They're just popping up everywhere. But for me, it's a great setup to talk about hate watching stuff because not this show, but the original Saved by the Bell was one of my favorite shows that I could not get enough of, but I knew it was also not good at the time.
Mhm.
We're talking about the original run of, with Marpal Gosselaar, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, those folks. And then there's so many things that are just fucked up. I mean, Zach Morris is trash. Anyone who's seen the Zach
Oh,
Morris
I
is
love
trash
it.
videos. Okay, well, the guy that wrote those specials is one of the writers on Saved by the Bell, the reboot,
Yes.
and also a couple of creative people from 30 Rock. And it is a show that is a parody of the original because it makes fun of those exaggerations of reality that would never happen. And it's very self-aware. It's very meta. It's very smart about stupid people. And I was so crestfallen when it was canceled because they set up some really great things at the end of season 2 that are fantastic. Jesse and Slater are now teachers at the school. Jesse's actually a counselor there who has a caffeine addiction. Or no, she's a fully recovered caffeine addict.
Oh, even better.
Slater's
I like that.
Slater's a coach, and his life is in the shitter. Zach has become governor of California, and his son Mac Morris is always trying to scheme with the most popular cheerleader, Josie Tota.
Mac Morris.
Yes.
Mac Morris.
Lexi
Wow.
she's one of my favorite terrible people. Kind of up there with John Ralphio's sister from Parks and Rec.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, whose name I'm totally leaving out. Mona Lisa Saperstein.
Nice.
In that vein of just a really terrible person, but does have some redeeming qualities. Again, this show just was not promoted, and it is the most loving parody and also mocking the source material while revering it that I've seen since like the Brady Bunch movies, which I think the first two are just, amazing. And this really does that. It changes a lot. It's about how Bayside has had to absorb, because of Zach Morris's cutbacks on education, they've had to absorb a inner city school. So they poke a lot of fun about how fucking white Bayside and the show always was. So it's incredibly, incredibly good. Highly recommended. It'll still probably be on there. I hope a grassroots campaign can bring it back. We get appearances from from 5 of the 6. Dustin Diamond was not on season 1, and his character Screech was eulogized in season 2, but not mentioned because he burned a lot of bridges before he died. John Michael Higgins, he plays the principal. He's the one at the top of the stairs there.
He's great.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of the mockumentaries like Best in Show. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, he's just a really fantastic actor. And just can't recommend it highly enough. It's, I think it's like between 10 and 13 episodes per season.
Perfect.
They go by quickly, 25 minutes. It's really, really good. Episodic. It builds on each other. The continuity matters for the first time ever, unlike Saved by the Bell. So
just picking up on a random thing.
Oh yeah. And also, like I said, it's written by the Zach Morris's Trash Guy. Another companion podcast to listen to is Go Bayside with April Morrison. She did this back in 2013.
Wow.
And she brings in a comedian, and they break down every single Saved by the Bell episode by episode, including the caffeine pill addiction. I'm so excited. And I'm so scared. She covers that one. It's brilliant. She does the movies. So that's also a great, if you hate Saved by the Bell, the original series like I do, then you'll love both of those.
Very nice. I mean, you've seen both seasons. Can you throw a rating on it?
It's incredibly good. I'd give it a 3.8.
Wow.
Oh.
Scotty Scoop, what are you thinking?
It's funny. I just listened to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum.
So good.
Just last week, he released an episode with Mark Paul Gosselaar, and they were talking about this. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll give this a chance. And I think it was the very next day it was axed.
Yep.
Ouch.
I couldn't believe it.
Based on what he just said, I'm like just expecting a full-on comeback here.
Right.
I hope Freaks and Geeks did make a comeback, but it's on the level of Freaks and Geeks.
Oh, okay.
to me.
Yeah, you just
God,
spoke.
I love that show.
Some ears
Yeah.
just perked up there too, for sure. I love
Wow.
Freaks and Geeks. Andy, what do you think?
Wow, that's a good rating there for it. I'm definitely more intrigued, but I didn't even know this existed until right now.
Yeah,
It's a marketing
exactly.
problem for sure.
100%.
Right. And I have Peacock, so
I would. Yeah, this is on Peacock. Saved by the Bell. I was, by the time, I was watching Saved by the Bell, and I was young. I was probably like 8, 9, 10, and so some of the episodes go over my head, and then I came back and watched it, in my like late teens and in my 20s, and then it became a little bit like you said, like if you didn't really watch it at the time and you come back, you're like, whoa, this is super out of touch.
Oh, yeah.
But like because of that makes me want to go watch it even kind of more
Yeah.
now, just to have that cringe laugh.
Yeah.
And to see this show come on so many years later, and I mean, a 3.8, I mean, anything above a 3 is always going to get me kind of curious.
And there is a moment when, in my favorite episode, it happens in season 2, where Jessie is actually talking with adult Lisa and Tiffany, and she mentions a period of time where she was a dancer out in Vegas, and like, oh, you must have did a lot. I did a whole lot. I
Yeah.
pushed a girl down the stairs.
Oh,
so
nice.
she's, it's her
Playing it
showgirls.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her showgirl.
Yeah.
No
Love
Name
it.
Alone. Yeah. So she's referencing that, and Versace and all those things. So
Very cool. Saved by the
Nice.
Bell on Peacock. Let us know if you're watching it out there. Maybe we'll see if this thing can be brought back from the dead. Who knows?
Resurrected.
All right, last but not least, yours truly. I'll make this super quick. Jackass Forever. I saw it. I rented it. I don't think it's out for streaming yet. And it says it right here on the poster. Some people never learn. The whole crew is back. Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, Little Man, is that what they call him?
Wee Man.
Wee Man's back. I mean, they got everybody, even like some of the older guys that were around when they were making this stuff 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago at
Yeah.
this point. And I got to tell you, I put this, I don't know if it was just the timing. You know, I wasn't even sure if I was going to watch this thing. Scotty told me they went and saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
Shanna had a great time.
Loved it.
We had a rough day. Me and Carrie, we got off work and it was a late night. And I said, let's put on Jackass. I just want to laugh. And I got to tell you, I laughed. Tears coming down my face. They took it to an extreme. Things that you can't even imagine. Like, they've taken it to the level where you're just going, once again, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that. These guys are idiots. But man, I'm so glad they film it all. Steven, are you a fan of the Jackass movies? Oh, I'll go and give it a rating. I'll give it a solid 3.4. Jackass forever. Go watch it.
Not really. I'm more of a ridiculousness guy. But I can absolutely.
Then you'll really like this.
I can relate to. Well, ridiculousness is captured and non-intentional.
But-
most of it.
But I mean,
Yeah.
just because of the star of that.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I can see how this would be amazing within a crowd, you know, and then you're home watching it. I was like, yeah, it's funny, but it's not as like, why is that?
Mhm.
My first experience of that was with the House Party, seeing the Kid and Play movie in a black theater, and that was fucking awesome.
Mhm.
You know, it was almost like, you know, crowd interactivity. And then I watched it alone. I'm like, oh, it's still okay, but it's lost something. It's that crowd interaction. It's like, you know, the opening night crowd when you go see a nerd movie. So
Just kind of.
I'd watch it if it was
falls
on.
a little flat.
Yeah, I'd watch it if it was on, but I probably wouldn't go out of my way to watch it.
Yeah, and I already know you did. Did you see it?
It's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, it's
actually.
on Paramount.
Oh
Plus for
man,
sure.
I paid money. And we got Paramount Plus. This is one of those classic things. If you don't know where it is, and the TV's like,
Yeah.
this is where you get it. I always say, I'm like, it says watch in other places. This is our Fire TV, and I'm like, this thing's lying. Like, it's like watch in other places, and it's like, here's where it's not. Kind of like, you have to like really think about it and be like, okay, just watch it out there, guys. Apple, Amazon, they will get you to pay for their
They'll
stuff.
get you for sure.
Yep.
Fuck you. At the
But it's worth it. It's worth it to rent, I'd say, for sure.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
Good.
All right, guys. With that, what do you say we get into some superhero stuff?
Okay.
Does that work?
Let's do it.
We're talking about Moon Knight, MCU title number 33. Here again, whenever I say MCU title number 33, once again, need to make some clarifications on this number system I'm using. These are Marvel Studios produced titles. They do not include the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s run, the Netflix shows that are not on Disney Plus. These are the main storyline MCU produced titles. I was keeping track before. Maybe we'll stop eventually, but I feel like since I started, I just want to keep going. We're talking about Moon Knight, starring Oscar Isaac. 6 episodes are out there on Disney Plus. We're using IMDb. We're actually giving it the trial for IMDb Pro. Anybody here an IMDb Pro user?
Whoa, I don't even know what that is.
It's an Amazon company now. First of all, you can get your subscription through Amazon and you get access to all of it. I finally got fed up with looking for box offices, looking for dates, not finding specific information. This is up to date, to the minute, everything you want to know. So we're going to give it a shot. We'll see if it works out. Last time we talked about Moon Knight. Full spoiler alert for the show because we're diving right into the storyline, and here in just a minute. On April 19th, it was at 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.7 on IMDb, 92% on Google users, and liked it. And that's looking about the same here. This was 3 days ago. So we're still hovering at the 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. Scotty Scoop, you agree with that?
Absolutely.
You loved it. This is one of your shows, 6
sure.
episodes. I want to get
Got
right
the
into
Moon
the
Knight
story.
shirt.
This is kind of how I want to do this. I kind of want to just set up very quickly, getting us right into the finale and doing just a wrap up of what happened in this show. So I'm going to do my best to give a kind of recap. Spoiler alert. I mean, this is it, right? You meet Stephen Walden. I'm sorry.
It's his fourth personality.
He's right here,
Yeah.
right? Stephen Grant.
It's way less impressive than the other 3.
Yeah, he's like, what's he
Wait,
do?
I'm a fucking artist that
He's
lives in St. Louis. This sucks.
Why am I waking up in the desert with my paintbrush?
Where did my hair go? Why is it on my face?
His personality loses his hair. Stephen Grant is who we meet. This guy is getting his life turned upside down by a multi-personality. He meets Mark Spector, who's another personality inside of him, who's teamed up with this god called Khonshu, an Egyptian god who gives him his powers to become Moon Knight. Throughout this show, you will see these two characters going back and forth, never knowing who they are, really where they are, what happened the night before, how many days has gone by. Lots of confusion. You got Ethan Hawke in here playing
Arthur Harrow.
Arthur Harrow. He's in here doing a great job. Oscar Isaac's showing up. Got the cast actually right here, so we can see just the other. I want to see who plays this girl. She's great. May Kalmway?
Sounds good to me.
Kalamawe. She plays Layla, does a absolutely fantastic job. And on the screen share right now, you can see these episode titles. And I want to go right into this finale. You pick up this finale, man. Let's just get right into it. Scotty, it's probably been a couple weeks since you've seen this.
Yeah, I think I watched it last week.
Andy, when's the last time you saw it?
The finale was a week ago.
Yeah,
1 week ago. And Steven, you just played catch up as well with me, I think.
I did. I watched the last 2 episodes, and the second to last episode, as it tends to be in Marvel, that's often the best one.
Yeah, the
Yes,
penultimate
Because that's the
episode,
that's the one where they decode a lot of the shit that we don't understand.
Yes.
So,
Like
which
the
we
full-on
really
reveal.
needed
yes.
after episode 4. Because episode 4 really left you in the weeds.
And go ahead and jump in, because we came in episode 1 through 3, jumping in on episode 4. I mean, Scotty, you want to talk about this episode a little bit and take us through right up until the point where, let's just say it, I mean, Mark Spector and Steven get shot.
Yeah, there was some exposition. They went to the tomb. There was some revelation about how Mark may have been partly responsible for Layla's father's death.
Yep, they keep teasing that out.
They find what Steven says is the tomb of Alexander the Great.
Yep.
Who they believe was it was Amet.
Yep.
Well, what do they call him?
The main, like one of the main gods.
Well,
He's
I
one of
mean-
the big ones.
Avatar.
Avatar.
He was an avatar of Amet.
Yes, okay.
And
They're on the hunt
he was
for
like,
Khonshu.
they were looking for Amet's figure
Okay,
to try and keep Amet from coming back.
coming back to life.
And he says he finds it, reaches down into the mummy's gullet.
Yes, down right into his mouth.
Yeah, pulls it out, and that's about when Layla shows back up, confronts him about maybe being responsible for her father's death.
Yep.
Brings Mark forward.
Yep, it's time. Finally, Steven gives up the reins because he's like, okay, I'm not going to have this discussion about killing your dad. I had nothing to do with that.
Right. And then there's some battle back and forth, and Arthur shows up and just puts 2 in his chest.
Puts 2, this is the end of the episode, point blank, bang, bang, goes in.
Falls backward in the water, and you can see that shot where he's just sinking into oblivion. And you're like, what the hell?
That's the end, right?
That's the end.
Episode 5.
Yeah.
The afterlife.
The afterlife.
They are going down Egyptian afterlife in this show. What happens when you die? Well, I'll tell you what happens. First of all, you get kind of put into whatever form of limbo is good for you. And I guess for these two, because they're crazy, they end up in like an insane asylum and meet a talking, standing upright hippopotamus.
Yeah.
Favorite character in the show.
Yeah.
Anybody know the name?
Tawadet.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Tawadet.
Tawatet.
Tawadet. It's Tawaret.
That's
I
right.
believe.
Tawadet.
But the R is duh. It's a hard R.
And-
Tawadet.
And she weighs the scales.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
That's
the,
her
I
job,
guess
to
the-
weigh
the
your scales.
farrier into the afterlife.
And what's the ferry in this situation? A big giant ship cruising the sands, and it's either going to dump you off into the sands, that's basically hell, or it's going to take you off to heaven. And before you can do that, first of all, we kind of learned some things, right? I mean, Mark and Steven are there together.
Yeah.
And she's confused. She's like, why are there 2 of you in like heaven? Like, are you guys
Right.
twins?
Yeah.
And he's like, kind of, not really. Okay, doesn't really matter. Let's put your hearts on the scale, weigh these things. These things are mad out of balance.
Oh, yeah.
You have some unresolved stuff in your life. Go search all your memories in the form of hallways and rooms and tell us what happened. This is where we get the tell-all of everything, just like Steven
Yeah.
said.
We get
classic second to last Marvel episode.
The real story on who is the character.
Because they kind of lied to us.
Yes, for sure. We were introduced to this entire show through the eyes of Steven.
Yes, and Steven's like the person.
Yeah, and we're like, we love Steven. Steven's the main man. Here we go.
Turns out,
in
a flashback, we meet a mother who talks to a young boy who is, you think, Steven, until she says, Mark. And that's it. This is all you need to know, right? Mark is the kid. He's the person. He's the one that's been around. And Steven only came to be as a defense mechanism for the trauma in his life where his mom blamed him for his brother drowning in a cave. This is essentially one of the most tragic origin stories of any Marvel character. Young Mark Spector loses his brother. His mom not only is just distraught from then on out, ruined essentially, but blames him, verbally abuses him, and physically. And it's during the physical altercations. This is a 10-year-old, 12-year-old boy. I think it's somewhere around there. And this is where Stephen Grant, who you see on the poster in the little Mark's room, he's got a movie poster. Yeah. It's basically Indiana Jones.
An Indiana Jones B-movie knockoff.
And it's Stephen Grant, and this is who he comes up with to, escape his reality.
Yeah.
Everybody agree?
Yeah.
It was
wild.
Tawadet's like, hey, your hearts are out of balance. You got to get some crash course therapy. And therapy would, as a former therapist, I can tell you that, if there would happen a lot more. There's a hippo on a boat coasting through the sands of the dead. You wouldn't need nearly as many sessions. I'd figure my shit out a lot faster that way.
Or maybe that would bring all the answers you need. It was like, oh, I just didn't know about this Egyptian afterlife. I mean, is anybody familiar here with this stuff? Is this we got any Egyptian history buffs?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah, I mean, enough probably, shit I've learned from Moon Knight and Hawkman comics,
Oh my gosh.
And Black Adam, that's pretty big.
Oh yeah, of course.
Mummy movies,
I thought of the Mummy.
Yeah, not just,
National Treasure.
Okay, so no. Okay, so they get the scales balanced. This is the big push to get Steven and Mark be able to come back to their body. But something goes wrong. As the boat is... All right, so the boat actually gets Mark all the way... I'm skipping a part. Steven falls off the boat.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of exposition in between the two characters, which, two characters. This is the same guy.
It's the same guy.
There's a lot of... Oscar Isaac does a lot of heavy lifting here, and
so much
shoulders it with ease.
He just looks like he's just doing his thing.
Yeah.
Like in playing all these different characters, doing this thing.
They're going through room to room. They're, seeing each other's memories.
Yes.
There's a couple of questionable moments. We see a sarcophagus with, covered in red, and they're like, nope, you don't need to go in there.
What do you think that was?
Oh, but we know who that is.
You already know.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
We'll get there.
Soon. Yeah, we see what happened to Mark in the rest of his life as this trauma with his mom. Oh, he becomes basically like a mercenary.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, I don't know if he's a cold-blooded killer, but he's a killer.
He's a killer for sure.
And he's like killer for hire. And really, Steven isn't really showing up hardly at all until recently.
Yeah.
Which turns out we get the full tell-all of how Moon Knight came to be. Steven was on a mission somewhere in Egypt, wanders into a pyramid, and this is where Khonshu takes full advantage of the situation, says, you're on your last breath. If you want to live, I'll take over, but you're going to have to do my bidding.
Yeah. Become my fist of vengeance.
My Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Yeah. Loved it.
That was nice.
And also all the while in Afterlife, they're flashing back and forth to Ethan Hawke playing a psychiatrist businessman with he's got a little bit of a city accent now.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of trying to help out.
It's Midwest Ned Flanders.
Yeah, he is like Ned Flanders.
Yeah, idly ho.
That's real. Yeah, he's got the mustache. He's got the
it's time for some therapy.
And he's kind of, you think he's playing a game, but what do we learn about this? I mean, this is probably the finale, I guess, really, when they get into this, right? It's not till the very end. He's not even, I still didn't really fully understand who he was in that context, being in the afterlife, who Ethan Harrow was to Mark Spector. That part was a little confusing to me because they're
yeah. I mean, it's just, I think you just come to find out this is all kind of in his head.
Yeah.
And he's taken these people that he knows
in
life and kind of put them in his brain, and it's all jumbled up, and it's, I think, on purpose, kind of ambiguous.
I mean, for sure, because you start asking questions like, what happened?
Like, what is real?
What-
You're questioning the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
is this real? Is this the real part, or is that the real part?
Well, let's get into the meat of this and talk about the finale. So Mark does come back.
Yeah. Oh well, we lose Steven.
We lose Steven
We
in
lose
the
Steven in the sand,
only,
and then the scales balance.
and the scout, because they've done their work.
They've done their work, and the other heart is gone.
Yeah.
You're one person now.
Yeah.
So the scales have balanced, and you can return to this body. But guess what? This body has 2 holes in it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
You're
And
bleeding.
you've imprisoned Khonshu.
Yep. This
He's
is
trapped.
it's the only way to heal.
Yeah.
Yep. And so like the mission becomes very clear to get Khonshu. We have the hippopotamus god still around, and eventually convinces Layla
Yeah, we get some
to
flashes
be her avatar.
of, her speaking through other bodies like, "Hey,
Yeah,
why
that
don't
was
you just
wild.
become my avatar?"
Layla's
And
walking through
she's-
dead bodies, and they're just like
she
waking up.
ignores it a couple of times until eventually she accepts it.
She has to. Like we're
Yeah.
at the end of the road here. Mark
I don't
needs
really
help,
have a whole lot of a choice here.
and she gets a crazy awesome outfit. Does she have a superhero name? Anybody know?
Scarlet Scarab.
And she's got these silver wings. She can fly
Looks
around.
great.
Looks great.
fantastic.
Fantastic. She gets Khonshu out before all that happens. Khonshu tries to get her to be the avatar. It doesn't work.
Well, yeah, we thought like the whole time, like this is going to meet up with her, and she is going to be Khonshu's avatar, and then it doesn't happen.
And he just wants one. He doesn't really care who it is.
He doesn't really care.
He's just getting around.
Yeah.
So Moon Knight comes back. He's healed up. I mean, did he get Steven back by that point?
There's
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they get Steven back. They make a deal with
Yep.
Khonshu.
Yep.
If we take you now, you have to release us.
They're working together now.
Yeah.
They've come from the afterlife. They're no longer on the outs. Mark and Steven are like compadres now.
Yeah.
They
And
Moon
there's-
Knight, they Mr. Knight, they beat all of Harrow's guys, and they
Yeah.
end up, I mean, it's kind of like anticlimactic in terms of like them taking him down. But like, what happens with Ahmet, or the guy they were trying to bring back?
Crocodile.
Yeah, the crocodile.
The crocodile. He comes back. He's giant.
Giant.
You know what I thought of?
crocodile,
Lost. I was like, that's like the Lost statue,
Yeah.
but like alive,
but real.
but
yeah.
real, a big real alligator.
Yeah,
no
we had a
crocodile.
full out kaiju fight in
yeah.
the middle of Egypt, and it was awesome. The
It was-
giant Khonshu and the giant Ahmet.
Yep.
And I would say the biggest difference between Moon Knight and Lost is this had a satisfying ending.
Oh,
Oh,
wow,
no.
man! I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
8 times. I think they've nailed it.
I was good with that. It was,
Oh, you think so?
I loved it.
I hated Lost.
Loved
How many
it.
times did you
How
see
it
it?
ended. I've seen like the first 2 seasons multiple times, and then 3 it starts to bog down. 4 is interesting. 5 can go fuck itself, and 6 can, take a ride with 5.
That's beautiful.
It was so awful. It was so bad, and so bad that they had to release the head man in charge epilogue thing.
Oh, those are pretty brutal.
To explain all the questions. That's my issue with J.J. Abrams. The dude can set up a story like anyone, but he can't finish worth fuck.
Yeah. I
You know,
mean,
all those mystery boxes he puts out there of like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Who's Ray's dad? Guess what? Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
oh,
some-
it does
Oh, yeah,
matter.
there was a lot of
You
things
know,
left open.
some things didn't
so-
matter. I feel like they answer a lot more than people realize. Like after watching it a lot, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this seems like they connected that again. But I hear you.
Yeah.
Fair
so
share.
season 1 and 2, some of the best TV ever.
100%.
Like we're talking about The Walking Dead, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, let's stay on Moon Knight. Here we
Yeah,
go.
sorry.
No, perfect. I love the segue. Wrapping up the story. Moon Knight conquers all. They're in a good place.
See, Khonshu seems to be okay with releasing Mark and Steven.
Yeah, he holds up his end of the deal, right?
Yeah.
Now that they're working together, he says, all right, we won. We beat this guy. You have to release us. He says, okay, so be it. You're on your own. Then what happens with those two?
Well, they realized that there was a third person.
Well, I know because they don't
Right.
show
Did I do
that
that?
till the
Did
very
They
end.
don't show that until
Well,
the
but they-
stinger at the end.
But
end.
didn't when they defeated Harrow and all of his men, they were like, "Did you do that?"
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
This has been
that's
a
the big
thread.
part.
That wasn't me.
Mark
through-
So that's
Yeah.
when you were like,
That's
"All
it.
right."
That's the big part because Moon Knight is essentially he's lost, and
Yeah.
they've got him down,
and then
and they
Boom.
black out,
Yeah.
and they wake up, and literally every single person's dead, including Harrow. Like that's
Yeah.
that's
Right.
why it was anticlimactic because you didn't
Because you
see
didn't
it.
get to see it. Yeah, and that's been a thread through almost every episode.
God, that's good.
Where
That's cool.
they black out, and they each kind of blame the other one for the situation that they're left in.
Yeah.
And they both kind of deny that it was them. And you're like, what happened? Who is it?
And guess what?
Guess what?
You get to find out.
You do.
Flash forward. I think Steven and Mark are just kind of like living.
Yeah.
They're together.
They've gone into their regular life.
And just they're going to double team this thing.
Yeah.
And like Steven's a person and apparently has like some kind of soul.
Yeah.
You can go down a real rabbit hole there. And then here we go.
Arthur Harrow.
Arthur Harrow in prison
Yes.
gets let out, put into a vehicle, and
He can see Khonshu
this is crazy.
because he was a former Avatar.
So is that right? So if
Yeah.
you're a former Avatar, you can see him.
Yeah.
And he's sitting, Khonshu's in a suit,
Yeah.
like a regular
He
suit.
did almost like the Mr. Knight suit.
And then he says, did you really think I was after those two idiots?
Right.
I was after
Jake Lockley.
Jake Lockley.
Yes.
And this is the third.
This is the third absolutely violent psychopath that Moon Knight is really the person. Like, this is the guy.
This is it.
This is the
rest of this was just like, here's how this all works.
right. Like, you've got the mild manner Steven, you've got the middleman and Mark,
Now you got to.
and now you've got the crazy Jake, who has been responsible for all of these slaughterings that they would black out during.
And he shoots.
Boom.
He's gone.
Takes him out.
Presumably dead.
Yeah, for sure.
And now there's 2 fish.
Yeah, no, it's 2 fish. 2 goldfish in the fish bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the last scenes, I think, is
Yeah,
when
for sure. When they were in the apartment.
he's chained up in his bed and falls out, kind of like episode 1 callback. There's 2 fish now, so basically
Mark and Steven.
Khonshu,
They've
Khonshu
reconciled.
is I don't know, got the third man in.
He must have to work real hard to like get them back to the house, without them noticing.
Oh, for sure.
And then was there an end credit scene?
The end credit scene was the Jake Lockley
That was the end credit scene.
in the limo, yeah.
Okay. They could have tacked that on the end and given you something
Yeah,
else.
for sure.
All right, Moon Knight. I don't want to mess around here because we got a big title to talk about right before we take a break. Let's do a round table and do final thoughts and ratings. We'll start with our guest today, Stephen Walden. Tell us about what you thought of Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, I agree with a lot of what Scotty said already. Well acted. The action sequences are great. My biggest issue with it is how disconnected it feels from the larger MCU. I thought it could have been easily folded in to bring someone from Wakanda. It's like you guys are in the same area-ish. It just felt so separated from it, unlike everything else that has come before on Disney Plus. And I know it was intentional, but I'm not quite sure what the payoff is, because my biggest thing why I never got fully into Moon Knight comics, I'm like, dude has an amazing costume, but his stories just don't matter to me. And that's what this series felt like to me. Great costume, but I don't know why I should care. Other than the fact that Oscar Isaac is an amazing actor, and I'd like to see him in another season.
Yep.
And I'm curious to see, the new black suit Moon Knight and all that, where, when Jake takes over. I would love, as an 80s comic fan, I would love to see him ultimately partner up with the West Coast Avengers somehow. But, I don't know. That's a ways away. So
Very
for
nice.
him to be a team player of anyone, he's his own team. He's got 3 people
for
on
sure.
his team right now.
A one-man team.
And how about a rating?
I'll give it probably a 3.
3, even 3.
Even 3.
Fair.
Yeah. I think, that can change over time, but it's the least consequential of all the Disney Plus series so far that has come so far. So
Fair share, my dude. Giggler.
All right, 3.1 out of 4 for me.
Whoa, okay, nice.
Just gonna throw that out there first, like I like to do.
Yep.
Oscar Isaac was the best part of the show. I mean, he crushed it. How do you play 3 characters? It's more like 2.5, but
Yeah, but nonstop.
That was just exactly. He killed it the entire time, start to finish. I like that it was like a very it was a dark show, but it was very fun to watch. Kept you very very entertained the whole time. I needed to see more Moon Knight though, especially as it being like a introduction to this character. Like, I just wanted to see more. I agree that he has one of the coolest outfits and suits, but like, you barely saw it, and I really wanted to see more of it. It could have been maybe a couple more episodes to kind of fill in some more, because I had a similar experience where I was just kind of like, I don't know what was missing from the show for me. But I definitely think season 2 could be a banger for sure. With what, like, I feel like it's like more of a character exposition than anything. And they definitely got me hooked on that part of it for sure.
Hell yeah, man. Well said. Great rating. Sounds like it definitely made the threshold for you. Scotty Scoop, I know you were so pumped for this. How'd it go for you top to bottom?
Great. One of the reasons I really liked the show so much was because it was disconnected from everything. And I don't think it needed, I know they talked about, they had originally written in an Eternal to cameo. And I think also maybe someone from Wakanda, probably a Dora Milaje or some, one of those just random things. I could have used maybe 1 or 2 more episodes to really kind of fill it out, but I had a great time, and this is probably gonna make my second favorite of the Disney Plus shows, and I think I would give it a 3.5.
3.5 went well. I'll give it up for that.
What's your number 1 Disney show?
Hawkeye.
Yeah, we were definitely on the other spectrum, because that's my least favorite so far.
Yeah. I was really down with that Hawkeye. I had read the original Matt Fraction run, and it's so good.
Yeah, that's why I recruited him. I was like, all right, you really like some of these ones that, like, I feel like they're not the mainstream, and you got the comic knowledge where you're coming in and going, like, I'm most pumped for Hawkeye, where that's not me.
Right.
Sign me up for She-Hulk. That's the one I'm really excited
there.
about.
I'm with you.
So
I'm with you there too. I'm worried if it might be a little bit too much like Rizzoli and Isles or something. Like, just where it's like, if it gets too
little
if it's too much procedural, I hope
it's going to be more like Deadpool, because that's what She-Hulk is that she's the person that sees all the bullshit that's going on in the Marvel universe. And the John Byrne run on that is absolutely hilarious, where she number of time breaks the fourth wall. And talks to the reader. It makes fun of the editor, John Byrne himself. She's actually talking with John Byrne. So I wonder if they're going to go that route. I don't know that they will, since Mark Ruffalo is going to be in some of it.
Yeah, right. That'll be an interesting way. I mean, seeing him on TV, that'll be something cool. All right, I'll round us out here before we go into the break. Moon Knight for me was a fantastic ride. It was totally threw me for a loop. I felt confused and I had to rewatch multiple episodes just to really get a feel for what was going on, but it came home for me in the end. Had a lot of fun. I agree, we should have seen at least 3 times as much of the costume, I think. But Oscar Isaac, showing up was awesome. Season 2 for this show is very much again like season 1. Like, what are they gonna do? Because I still don't even have quite of a feel of like where it left off. It's kind of a cliffhanger in itself of like, well, where can they go with this? What type of situations does Moon Knight get in? And with all these different characters, man, you just never know what's going to happen. Yeah. So just for the surprises alone, I'm here for it. Things that I get excited about and think about because, I'm an addict of the multiverse and all the connected storylines is where will we see Moon Knight next? And will it be in other titles? I want to see some crossovers. We've established all these titles that are happening across 2021, 22, going to 23. And I think a lot of them have felt siloed, which is cool because I want to give things their focus, but I'm also a fan of seeing the things connect. And if this is the MCU, like, let me know a little bit. And I really didn't know it at all. Like, you don't have to really be an MCU fan to appreciate this. I mean, you won't even need to. You can just come in and watch it cold, I think.
Right.
And will he be in any movies? Are we going to get some of these TV characters in movies? It's got to happen. I hope it does. Overall, I give season 1 of Moon Knight a 3.2.
Nice. I think we'll definitely see him in something else before we get a Moon Knight season 2.
You think so? You got to guess?
It's Werewolf by Night.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yes, this is the Halloween
special
this year.
I think so.
I keep forgetting about that one.
Sure.
It is.
Very cool. All right, man. Moon Knight, Disney Plus, 6 episodes. There you go. Another one for the MCU library. You can get all those MCU titles, reviews, the order that you're looking for, that you want to watch it in, which is at this point, is that timeline order is what I think. mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU is where you want to be. Right now, we're going to take a quick break, and we come back. It's time to bust open the mega film Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Stick around. We'll be right back.
What is up, everybody? I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
And we host Comic Book Club, a weekly live talk show and podcast about comic books, 7 p.m., Crowdcast and YouTube, as well as your regular podcast listening places, iTunes, Stitcher, etc. And every week, we bring on the absolute best guests from the world of comic book, right?
Comic books, TV, film, we cover everything. You can come be part of the magic and lightly insult us throughout our recording, Tuesdays at 7, or just listen on your own time.
Yeah.
We also have comedians on there as well. It's a fun time.
Yes, thanks. It sounds like you're having fun, Pete. Pete actually is the guy who hosts our trivia where you can win a $25 gift card to Midtown Comics every single week. You can use it in the safety of your own home. Come check us out. We would love to chat with you about comic books, have a little fun, talk about some old 4-color funnies.
Ah, nice. Fresh ref to close it out.
You've heard others, but nothing could prepare you for the shameful stupidity that is the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Hear Imran.
So if you offend everyone at once, it's a wash. I've covered everybody.
Anthony.
Sorry, I was texting. Say that again.
And Rug Boy.
Yeah, whenever there's a snowstorm, my slack hole tightens up.
As they talk over one another.
Just exactly the same as
Terminator.
We're talking over each other. It's fine.
Sorry.
Swear.
I had boobies.
And ask you for money.
Just give us the money.
Witness the hubris as they claim to be the world's authority on comic book movies.
Who said?
Never said that. You've never said that.
Who cares? A jock said that.
Comic book, TV, movie reviews, news, and whatever they choose. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
It's campy, silly, goofy fun.
Seriously, people really listen to this.
Jock and Nerd.
The meat.
Welcome back from the break. This is Mostly Superheroes. I'm your host, Logan, back here again, talking about the MCU. Shocker. I know. I can't believe it. This group of individuals are putting out so many pieces of content. We just talked about Moon Knight, a 6-part series, and now we're talking about an epic film that just came out last week. We saw it in theaters, a few of us together. I think Steven saw it last week. We're talking about a sequel in the making for many years now. After all the delays, all the reshoots, it's finally time to dive into this wacky, crazy movie. Sam Raimi's back. It's a horror movie's twist on a multiversal chasm. This is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Spoiler alert right now. First, the numbers. Let's just get right into it. This is Doctor Strange 2. It is a sequel. We'll get into that storyline in just a minute, but this one, as I said, is directed by Sam Raimi, who you might remember from the Tobey Spider-Man films. Here he is again. This one's written by Michael Walden, produced by Kevin Feige, composed by Danny Elfman, and we have a great cast. Benedict Cumberbatch coming back as Doctor Strange. Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff. Help me with that third name there, Scotty Scoop. Shipwell?
Chidowell Ejiofor?
Ejiofor.
Yeah.
Coming back as Mordo or Mondo?
Mordo.
Mordo. Benedict Wong coming back as Wong. Here's a few names that'll be tough as well.
Xochitl Gomez.
Coming in as America Chavez with the introduction of a brand new character. Rachel McAdams back again as Dr. Christine Palmer, Michael Stolberg, and Sheila Adam. We got a whole cast here. Let's talk about the box office and what people think about this thing. So I wanted to bring up two just to see how it did. So on opening, the second opening day, I believe, of it, May 5th.
That would be...
That was
Thursday.
That was Thursday. So this is day one, essentially.
Like maybe some sneak previews on Wednesday, and then the quick day one.
And that day one was $85 million. Box office worldwide, that's gross. And then as of May 7th, just 2 days later, opening weekend was at $185 million maybe while we're sitting here, you guys can look up what the current number is as of
It's
today.
over half a billion.
$500 million?
Yes.
Woo!
We've crossed the $500 million mark.
I don't even know what to think about that amount of money, but I know that it gets me excited that if something that we're watching is doing well, that's exciting
Yes.
for us. Glad that we get to talk about it. Excited to hear all the people out here that have seen it. And yeah, man, using IMDb Pro for all these stats that we're throwing at you. Currently, what do people think of this movie? 76% of Rotten Tomatoes, 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, and 87% of Google users are into this movie. Always like to dive right into the story because this is going to be one that's going to be so fun to talk about. A lot of cameos, a lot of a story that I think we can all easily get through. Some villains that you probably didn't see coming. But first, I want to do a good round table. We're going to start with our boy, Stephen Walden. We always like to do what we call around here a gut check. Well, who are you going into this movie? What was the hype like as this movie was ahead of you on the calendar? And what were you most excited to see? And how'd it go overall without spoiling it for you?
I was fortunate enough to stay away from a lot of spoilers, and some of the spoilers I got clearly did not come true. Where I was super excited about this since No Way Home. Honestly, even since WandaVision, just because I knew that this was originally planned to come out right after that series aired, and I think it would have been of a better service had it had that timing. But yeah, super excited. Although Doctor Strange himself, I was never a huge fan of him in the comics. I don't identify with magic and fantasy. I prefer my stuff to be a little more grounded. However, the movies I've enjoyed. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is great. I love this. He's the smart ass heir apparent to Tony Stark. And the visual scene in 3D, just unbelievable. Also highly recommend to take your glaucoma medication and a lot of it before you go see it.
Great for 3D, I guess.
Yes, fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, and is that what else do we need to
No,
check?
that's
Is
perfect.
that
That's
perfect?
exactly
Okay.
it. Just a little bit of setup, like who the character is to you and all that coming in. And Andy, we had talked about this for how many weeks now? Scotty Scoop as well. I think the three of us, we can't say enough how much we were waiting on this thing. Give the fans a little bit of a taste of what you thought coming out of it, and then we'll do a rating at the end, obviously.
Oh yeah, I mean I've been waiting for this movie for so long. I feel like it's been 5 years, but exactly like after WandaVision, we all knew like that was kind of going to lead into this, and this did not disappoint. Like I was so happy, like during this movie, and obviously my heart rate rose above unacceptable levels so many times that my Apple Watch like warned me to make sure I was okay. So thank you for that, Sam Raimi.
Marvel's like, new kind of lawsuit. All right, Scotty. I mean, you saw it twice.
I saw it twice. I was so amped for this movie. I always tell myself I'm gonna stay spoiler free. But I can't stay off the internet.
Oh gosh,
I just can't.
So you're a real addict.
So it was probably last Monday. Just a few days before the thing came out, and the spoilers were just everywhere, and I got most of them. And I was like, oh, man, like, I hope there's something else. I had a lot of fun. I think it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Probably a divisive movie.
Mm-hmm. I think we might find out.
Yes.
We got a good little focus group of 4. Let's get into it and talk about the story. I'll tell you how I feel at the end. So put on your storyteller hat. I mean, I'm working on a storyteller bite. We'll get it in here eventually. But for now, it is story time. I want to get right into it. But first, a little setup always helps a little bit. Doctor Strange 1, came out in 2016, 14?
Somewhere around
somewhere
there.
in that
15.
It was 16.
Yeah.
16.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. Doctor Strange breaks his hands. He's a great surgeon. Now he's Doctor Strange. He beats Dormammu with a little trick. You meet Wong. You got Mordo.
Mordo, yeah.
Mordo is
or
in
Carl,
there.
if you know him.
Carl.
Yes.
Right. I love that. We meet the Ancient One. All the history behind Doctor Strange and the sorcerers and where they come from, who they are, the little backstory, and like a lot of teases of like big ramifications that become in one day, from what he did with the Time Stone to defeat Dormammu. Spoiler alert for the movie. We already said it. You also see him, of course, in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, a big part of the battle that takes down, of course, Thanos. And then another title that you might need to see before this movie was a little show called WandaVision, a 9-part episode series starring Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, bringing back those two characters from the MCU into a 9-episode run that went in January of 2021. And then, as of late, the last time we saw this character was in a massive film that you might have seen called Spider-Man No Way Home, which is probably one of the best movies we've seen since Avengers Endgame. And Doctor Strange got a little multiversal in this thing, making some things happen with multiple Spider-Mans, all the things going down. And once again, kind of feeling like maybe some ramifications here. What's going to happen in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
Some ramifications?
Ooh.
I like it.
I'll give it up for you. Just a little one. And the story goes. You guys want to drop right in?
Please.
A different Doctor Strange with a ponytail. He's wearing blue. He's running through, obviously, some kind of cosmic world with a girl in a blue jean jacket with a star on her back, and they're being chased by a crazy monster. They're trying to get a book that's apparently going to help, and at the end of it, the monster's getting the girl with the blue jacket. Doctor Strange says, only one way to do this. I'll do it myself. I'll take your powers. I'll get the book. I'll destroy the monster. Does not go as planned. This Doctor Strange. Why do I say this? It's definitely not ours.
This is Defender Strange.
What?
He's Sorcerer Seagal.
Seagal's pretty good. All right. Good made-up name.
Nice.
Is yours a comic book name?
Yes.
And what's it again?
Defender Strange.
And this guy, here he is.
Yeah.
What'd you think when you see this right away?
I was like, they're just dropping us right in.
Right in.
Yeah.
Right into the thick of it. What is going on? This Doctor Strange is speaking Spanish. I don't.
Yeah.
I get no introduction to America Chavez. Personally, I know who she is, but we're just jumping right into the action.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Let's start off on a hot beat. We're doing it.
We're doing it. Just all that Marvel, Doctor Strange kind of the CGI of going nuts. It looks so good. And Doctor Strange apparently maybe dies. Yeah, he does. The portal opens. It's in the shape of a star. And that's where it falls in. And our Doctor Strange wakes up from a dream.
Yeah.
Here he is. He's at home. He's kind of sleeping. And this is after Spider-Man No Way Home. This is this is picking right up. This is a new Doctor Strange movie. This is a new story. You really don't know where you're coming. He's just kind of living his life. He has some big plans that day. He's going to go see Christine Palmer once again because guess what? She's getting married.
Yep.
He's going to the wedding. He got the invite. He runs into the original surgeon doctor that he worked with from the first movie. Did you guys realize that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yep.
Oh, my gosh. That was so great. The doctor just being like, so he's at the wedding. They're sitting in the pew. It's Christine's wedding. And he goes, so, I lost my dog.
My cats.
My cats.
My cats died. And my sister.
And my sister or brother.
Brother, something like that.
Was there any other way the blip could have gone?
Right.
And he's
Did
like,
you
no.
really have to do that?
No, that was it. It's like, oh, best surgeon, best superhero. Wow. This guy's just
still didn't get the girl.
Still didn't get the girl.
Man, savage.
And here she is. There's Christine. Rachel McAdams back. And not long into the wedding, shit goes down. In the street, monster. I mean, you guys know what this monster's called?
It's definitely not Shumagorath because they legally can't use that.
Right.
Why not?
But it was definitely Shumagorath.
So yeah, it's a Conan property.
Yeah.
But like same look, like with the big eye, the big tentacles. It's attacking. It's not really attacking New York. It's kind of invisible. Then Doctor Strange shows up, makes it reveal itself. It's chasing.
Which is kind of funny. I mean, it's like, what is this that's embedded in our consciousness to want in superheroes to see them fight monstrous starfish?
Yeah.
Because I mean, Starro, and that, I don't know. It was just
the Suicide Squad.
Thinking about that, but also a friend of mine, it was telling me I was really distracted because a lot of visual beats from Spider-Man 2 are showing up in Doctor Strange. There's a tentacled monster coming. They're crawling up the building. He listed all these things that are Raimi tropes, or at least visual callbacks. And it's like he said it was distracting for him, but I was like, I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
that's what we.
That's one of the main grabs of the Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Add-on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It kind of comes with his style.
Yeah.
Right. Again, fanboys geeking out about shit and just being just whiny.
Yeah.
It's like I love my kind and I fucking hate our kind at the same time.
Right.
It's like, just be happy. I mean, if you had told me in 1982 as a 7-year-old kid, I'm 47. I'll do the math for you. If you told me that, hey, when you're in your late 40s, there's going to be a Doctor Strange movie that's going to make $500 million.
Right.
Not only that,
unheard of,
but he's already been in 4 other movies.
Yeah, this is his 5th appearance.
Right.
I mean,
We are so spoiled.
Oh,
we're
spoiled.
so
I mean,
fucking spoiled.
Oh, spoiled rotten. But I mean, what are you gonna do? It's like I'm not in the room where
What we're gonna do
talking.
is we're gonna complain about it. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, you know what we do? We come in here, we celebrate the stuff that works, but like we also call out, what it is, when it doesn't work.
Right.
I like that too. But I agree. Like I'll tell you where it's worse is the internet.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like sometimes it's just focused there. But all right, so back into it. Here we go. Big kaiju looking thing. He's got the eyeball. All right, Wong shows up. It's a double team. We're going to help save this girl. She introduces herself. She doesn't even say it again for another. I don't think she says her name until she sits down and talks. After they beat the monster, Doctor Strange pulls out the eyeball. He realizes very quickly that thing's trying to come after you. Let's sit down and talk about this. My name's America Chavez. Am I saying that right? America
Chavez.
Yep.
America Chavez. All right, first question. Superhero name?
Nope, that's her name.
America Chavez.
Like, that's her real name.
That's her name.
That's her superhero name. The jacket with the star. You guys are recognizing this.
Marvel rarely does secret identities these days.
Straight from the comic books. You're
well,
seeing this character
that's
right from the page.
I guess that's true. It's not always a superhero name. Like, some of them have them, but some of them, like Doctor Strange is just Doctor Strange. So this is the movie. So what's the story here? This girl is a multiversal being. She can travel between the multiverse. She says, have you guys had any experience with this? He says, I have. And have you seen Spider-Man No Way Home? And gets the kind of lowdown there. She says, okay, someone's coming after me. They're trying to suck my powers so that they can travel between worlds. And I need help. I had Doctor Strange helping me. What was his actual name? The blue Doctor.
Defender Strange.
Defender Strange was helping me. I wish they would have called them all. They just
Yeah.
stuck with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
They were like, we're not going to throw too much at these fans yet. And says, I was working with another Doctor Strange, but he sabotaged me in the end.
He's like, yeah, I seen that in my dream. Like,
Right.
oh, well, newsflash.
Did you know?
Not a dream.
Did you know that if you're dreaming, it's an older multiverse world?
Yeah, you're just seeing another version of you that really exists.
Yeah, so all those dreams you have, they've happened.
Yep.
What a
Real
bomb
thing.
to drop
Yeah.
on someone.
So many multiverses exist where I can just show up at places naked, apparently.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, yeah, I just keep having, I guess there's one multiverse where I'm just like at my high school, always late for class.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was really
I didn't study for a test.
I was
Yeah,
really
can't get
attacked
into my
by
locker.
Jack Nicholson's Joker. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. There's a multiverse out there where Jack Nicholson's Joker really gets you.
Wow. I don't like this. I don't like this theory.
It's okay. You're other Giggler. You're
Yeah.
safe, so.
Yeah, you're this one. As long as you don't dream walk, which we'll get to. All right, so she says, the other Doctor Strange didn't help me out. Maybe you can. He says, okay, I will help you out. But this is a kind of outside of my wheelhouse. We need some big power protection. Do you have anybody that has some experience with magic?
Magic?
And I'm like, well, you're Doctor Strange.
Right.
But
Well, we get before that.
Go ahead.
We get the how do I know you're really telling the truth? Oh, I'll take you to this body.
Oh,
of
yes.
The other Doctor Strange.
Let's-
And they're like, all right, we'll bite. Up to the rooftop. And there it is.
In the
They
most
uncover it.
in the most set looking rooftop I had ever
Oh,
seen.
yeah, for sure.
I was a little bit like, okay, what rooftop is this?
Very clean.
Like the most artistic
Yeah.
art. Like, I loved it. But what do? They bury the body.
Yeah, it's like we got to hide this body. Doctor
Wong
Strange is like, I've hid bodies before. I'll put it right over here in this convenient empty spot on top of this roof.
Wong is makes like a little New York joke. He's like, that's got to be against a few ordinances.
Some code.
It's clearly an example of Chekhov's Strange, because the Strange they introduced in the first act, you have to turn him into a zombie by the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that's just sitting there waiting for us.
And then you get the introduction. I'm America Chavez. Okay, we're gonna take you to Camartage.
Yes, this is like the sorcerer's home.
Yes.
You guys know what country they're in?
They're like training. I imagine it's somewhere
Nepal.
Tibet, something like that.
A lot of big giant mountains.
Yeah.
And in the middle of nowhere. Let's go back there. That's where
we're gonna take you there, and I'm gonna go see if I can get some help.
And who does he go see? Here she is, Wanda Maximoff.
Yep, she's just in her little apple orchard,
cutting her cutting limbs off of apple trees.
Yeah, trimming trees,
just one at a time.
Yep.
Just
There's
like
some sheep in the background.
Oh, hey, Doctor Strange. I gave up my magic a long time ago.
Yeah, I know why you're here. You know, that whole thing with was it Westview?
Oh, you're mad at me because of Westview. I know that you want to talk to me about it. And he's like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I don't care.
I knew that. Yeah, he goes, I knew you'd figure it out.
It is in Nepal, FYI.
Good job, guys.
Nice.
So the trees are up. Doctor Strange breaks it down, says we've got this kid, needs help.
Yeah, do you know anything about the multiverse? Viz had his theories.
Yeah, right.
Well, she's saying this as she's trimming branches. I mean, what we know about Loki and timelines, branches being trimmed and culled, and while she's creating incursions throughout the multiverse. While it's apples, we know about the historical and symbolic significance of apples and different religions and pagan representing children. So it's like it's so subtle in what it's doing, but also not at the same time. The dots are there to be connected.
Classic like Marvel, storytelling where they weave in those types of real historical things. I mean, you look at a movie like Eternals, and it's like you're asking like, how do they put this all together? And it's from like real history. All right, well, she pretty much shows her colors right away.
Oh, well, yeah. He's like, we could do this. Maybe you should come to Kamartaj. And she's like, well, what if you just bring America Chavez here and I could protect her?
And he says,
she says, she catches, you never told me your name, did you? and you can tell as soon as she said it, his face changed and he's like, shit.
He's like, and also he's just like, this is Wanda. This is
we're gonna get you back on the lunchbox.
Yeah, back on the lunchbox.
That was great.
That was such a great line.
Yeah.
Like we can figure this out. Like who is this character? Like man, you got to do some catch up for people that haven't seen WandaVision. But assuming you had, like here she is, man. Like we met her all the way back in the
Age of
Ultron in credit scene or actually in Age of Ultron. We met her in the movie before that in credit scene. Captain America
2.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And it's been, it's like this girl's come so long. We learn all this stuff about this character, and boom, dude, it's me. Yeah. I'm the one that's been chasing her. Yep. You know that monster? I was the one that sent it.
Yep.
I've always been the one.
Yeah.
Like
and
this was
waves her hand and drops the facade. You're in a field of dead trees.
Red,
the red smoke clears and
And she says, you bring her to me.
And
if you don't, you'll see what happens whenever I'm not reasonable.
Right. This is me being reasonable.
And
mercy.
He can't talk her off the ledge. He leaves. He goes back. He tells everybody about this. Wong, buckle down the forces. Everybody get your big shields up. We're going to shield this place up. America Chavez, you're going to sit here and we're going to protect you. And she's like, so the person you went to help me is the one that's trying to kill me.
Yeah. You told her exactly where we are.
And you told her where we are. Yes. Okay. And she shows up and it's a fight scene. This is it.
Yeah.
Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. She calls herself the Scarlet Witch in this movie.
Yeah, straight out.
And it says, that's what she says. If you don't do what I say, the Scarlet Witch will show up for you. And she does. Red smoke over what's the place called? Kamartaj. And he goes up and talks to her. She's like, I'm not backing down.
Yeah.
I'm not a monster. I'm a mother.
Yeah, we find out that she's
this is wild.
Desperately trying to get back to the children that didn't really exist in this universe.
Sam Raimi does his little catch up for the fans that haven't seen WandaVision, a little dream sequence of her in the room. It's her with the kids, and like she lives through it, and then she wakes up from a dream, which now we know was a multiverse.
Something that she knows exists.
Yes.
Somewhere else.
Because
she just needs to try to get there.
She has the Darkhold.
Yes.
Which she got from Agatha in WandaVision. So this is what's taught her about these things.
It really was Agatha all along.
Yes.
Even still.
It's resonating.
And she's just being that character, that other person somewhere.
Something I want to come back to with Agatha when we get to the Illuminati scenes.
Oh, perfect. All right.
There.
I like the pen.
But isn't this,
paper.
Have you guys talked to anybody who has seen this that hasn't been steeped in Marvel stuff like we are? Because that's the thing that really got to me is and let me know if I'm going out of turn. This should be safe for the
Have
or
it.
not, because I know we do recaps.
No, it's fine.
the thing that just struck me when I'm watching, I'm loving it, but I'm just thinking, this has got to be mightily inaccessible to people that are not as versed, because it seems to rely on that. A buddy of mine said Disney just was like, hey, you ain't seen WandaVision? Fuck you. You know, you ain't seen
What If?
The other movies, What Ifs? Fuck you
Yeah,
too.
yes.
You know, it's like,
and that's one of the points I like to make when watching Moon Knight is how disconnected it was and how much it can stand on its own. Whereas something like this, you have got to know 8 different titles for it to make complete sense. I'm not saying you couldn't come in cold and put things together if you know you're a smart person who's maybe has some tertiary knowledge of everything.
but it doesn't have the same weight.
But it doesn't mean as much if you didn't watch WandaVision or Age of Ultron or Endgame or Infinity War or No Way Home. It's turning into much like the comic book world.
Well, that's what I like about it, though.
There's so many events you need to keep track of.
And I'm not even coming from that comic book world, but like I agree. That's how this movie felt. Like we all said it. Dropped you in. It's happening. And I'm going, cool. Because I feel like that's my payday for like always being like
keeping up.
Yes.
And going like, I want this to feel like this.
Mhm.
I want this to feel like I'm just turning the page. And Doctor Strange is now fighting this one-eyed monster, and now he's in a dead body. Like, I'm fine with that. But everyday moviegoer that's not in Gulf, they're gonna feel a little bit like
walled off.
But at the same time, it's like, well, apparently it's not that big of a problem if it's made $500 million.
Oh, for sure.
You know? So there's somebody seeing it, and it's not all Benedict Cumberbatch's mom. There, so.
Well, there was that one guy who watched Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters like 300 times.
Yeah, I don't even know. I guess he's well funded. I mean,
holy crap.
All right, so the big battle goes down. Wanda gets into the Carmitage essentially and is just killing everyone. I mean, just a killer. Scarlet Witch is here to kill, and it's dead bodies. I mean, you're seeing it happen. They're showing Sam Raimi's doing his thing, showing the gruesome deaths, showing the power blast, wipe people out.
So and to this point, that moment when she's like, "You never told me your name." That's the moment. It's like, oh shit, she's the bad guy in this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She's the antagonist. I was
get
stunned.
As soon as she drops it, like, oh no, this is the big bad.
Especially considering how WandaVision ended, where she really did not face repercussions for her actions at all. She self-isolated, but that's not how justice works. You know,
it's true.
It's like she took it like, oh, sorry, I possessed you and took over your lives and put everyone in danger and probably got some people killed. I'm going to go live in a cabin now.
Right. Yeah, a nice cabin with like a lake and a mountain.
So
and you think there was some sort of personal growth there.
Yeah, and it's clearly not. Or the Darkhold.
And the Darkhold is got definitely
the closure that she gets at the end of WandaVision was undone by the Darkhold.
Yes,
right. And then at the end, I mean, she's just reading it. You know, she's just like, I'm into the Darkhold. I like this. You know,
it's quite the page turner.
Yeah, which also made me wonder: is like, was it Scorched Earth already, and that was a construct that we were seeing of the Darkhold with her out on the porch, or that was her astral version or whatever. I don't know, but it made me kind of like, what?
Yeah, no, you're doing that. You're like, is it all right? So was that now seeing this movie, was she separated a little bit? Because this is one thing you're going to be asking yourself. This whole movie is the Scarlet Witch, a Wanda that's like still good inside of her. Like this is the ultimate question for especially fans, you know?
Which that's also the nature of horror movies as a genre, right? To create the sense of unease. That's why horror movies don't typically have happy endings. We always see the hand twitch at the end, that there could, or an eye open, or there's something that happens that unsettles. And that's another really cool thing that Marvel's doing with this is the horror movie that they put out there. And I can't wait to see them do this with other genres as they have, in comics, but to spin that out and see what that looks like more.
Agreed.
Because Marvel horror from like the 70s is amazing stuff
Great.
too.
Yeah. And it's like, bringing some of this into the forefront now, like with the rated R content, like making it super scary.
Maybe Tomb of Dracula, something like that. That would be dope. Maybe an anthology series that they would do. That could be really cool. I mean, I guess that's what If is. So
yeah, I'm in. Totally in. Well, this is where we get the big multiverse of madness for the first time. She makes her way in. She's closing in. They lock her in a mirrorverse. Wanda's reaching through the reflections.
That was great.
Grabbing everybody, the horror hands. You also see this is where she really starts to become more and more and more deformed, like the more she's like going after them, like little cracks in her face, like almost like a little bit of a bend to her. Like
she comes out of that mirror all twisted and
the Grudge.
bones.
Yeah, like the Grudge or
the ring.
Yeah, right. And
she's so good.
She's coming through. She's closing in, and this is where fear settles in. America Chavez does the multiverse portal again. Her and Doctor Strange go through. Everybody else is left behind by everybody else. Wanda and Wong, essentially. And this is where we get the crazy fall through scene. I want to hear some people rattle off what you see. Just go for it. What multiverses are we seeing during this tumble with Doctor Strange and America Chavez?
The one I remember the most is the pop art, which is like there's a world of vibrant colors and paint. Why would I remember that?
Of course you love that.
I was just thinking that, actually.
But that was the most visually striking one. The others I can't remember off the top of my head.
Definitely saw the Living Tribunal.
Oh yes, that's right.
And what I believe was the Savage Land.
Yes,
definitely. You know, we saw the dinosaurs and the prehistoric looking. Yes. Definitely the Savage Land.
What were you feeling during that? Like,
I was, I seeing it twice. When it got to that scene, after seeing it the first time, I was like, man, when I seen this again, I'm gonna have to go into some sort of slow motion mode and see if I can pick things out. And it was just so fast.
Especially since this is probably 30 to 40% of every multiversal part you see in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot. You know, you get the painted universe.
The cartoon.
You get the cartoon universe.
Which is like, okay, there's What If. You know, that's how they could do What If crossovers now. Like, it's that easy.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love that.
I didn't think they were going to do that, but they just blasted it right on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just confirms it, you know, for the fans that are wondering that kind of stuff. You're like, okay, that's cool. And then they land in an Earth that is awesome, like covered in grass. Red is go, green is stop.
They have pizza poppers.
They have,
food is free.
I mean, let's talk about the big cameo here.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell, baby.
We get Bruce Campbell.
I mean, dude, Sam Raimi brings his buddy back into the fold. He's a pizza ball salesman. He makes fun of Doctor Strange. He's like, "You're a Doctor Strange.
You stole that from the Strange Museum, didn't you? You're a taker.
You're a taker." Just punching him, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna make him hit himself
with his Evil Dead hand."
Yeah,
and
squirts the mustard in his face.
I mean, this is rough. She goes, "How long is he gonna do that? Like the rest of the day?" He's like, 3 weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
I was like, "That's brutal."
Yeah.
But they're in this universe, and they decide the only person that can help us is the Doctor Strange that's here. Who's there?
Yeah, we gotta find him.
We
They walk to the sanctum.
Yep.
And they see the statue, the giant Strange statue. Like, this is dedicated to Doctor Strange, the greatest hero of all time, who saved us from Thanos.
Who saved the world, the universe from Thanos. And it's like this really sleek looking Doctor Strange.
Yeah, no facial hair.
Yeah.
You know, he had the collar, the classic popped collar.
Yep.
Loved it.
And this is the what do they call the sanctum?
Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah. Yes, and Carl's running the place.
Yeah. Mordo shows up, opens the door, and Doctor Strange is like, "Oh, crap. This guy does not like me."
No.
Because at the end of Doctor Strange 1, this guy was like tired of people taking magic and using it for like fixing hands and hips.
Right.
And
how dare you?
How dare you? You want to walk again?
You're just going to use the time stone?
Instead, I'll just kill everyone.
You're better crippled. Dick.
Good luck at your basketball game.
Jeez. They keep him away from the March of Dimes. Jesus Christ.
So he's the nice guy, at least on the surface. He gives Doctor Strange a hug, says, "Come on in."
Yeah, my brother.
My brother.
You told me this day would come. Tell me all about your universe.
Your universe.
And we're like, all right.
All right, we got a comrade.
Yeah, Carl.
We'll sit in here, have some tea.
Carl.
Hang out.
Candy Mountain Carl. Sorry.
And they go, they get drugged immediately.
Yeah. The
no one's helping anybody.
Sands of whatever in the tea.
And not only that, but you're gonna we get some side by sides here. So we get Wanda has taken Wong hostage.
Oh, I will say it's a funny callback to Doctor Strange 1 when he takes the tea from the Ancient One. He's like, "What'd you slip?" After he has the trip, he's like, "What'd you put in my tea?"
Yeah.
And then it's like, "Oh, bitch, put something in my tea," in this world. So
good point.
It's like every time you go to that place, you're like, "I'm getting drugged."
Stay away from the tea, man.
Yeah, don't drink tea.
Have a pizza popper.
That'll definitely something that'll happen in 3. where he refuses someone's tea. I can guarantee
It's
it.
very
He's
Hitchhiker's
just-
Guide moment.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
no tea.
Or like when Hawkeye, like in Age of Ultron's like, I've already been down the mind control.
Yep.
game." All right. Well, yeah, this is where we're gonna get.
We've got
I mean,
got
this
Wong.
is it. This is it, right? This is where we're getting into the most fun part of this movie.
We got Wong held hostage.
Yes, held hostage. Wanda's like, tell
Wanda's
me.
got the Darkhold. She's gonna try and dream walk.
We learn about dream walking.
America's in their little cube now. Or
Yeah.
they're both in their cubes.
Both
Right.
in their cubes.
Yeah, they're over here waiting for a minute, and then
We get Wanda dream walking.
this is where we get the other Wanda on this Earth.
We
Presumably.
see, well, we see her doing the dream walking, and then one of the people that we thought were dead, still alive, tries to help Wong,
Oh, so yeah, back at the
and
Karmatage. Is that
Wong's
right?
like,
Oh, yeah.
let me out. I need to destroy the Darkhold, and she says, "It can't be you."
Because as they've
Because-
as they've reminded us many times, he is the Sorcerer Supreme.
Right. So she just pulls out some sort of weird knife, dives, grabs
Wanda's
the
like
Darkhold.
up in the air, like
She's still dream walking.
Yep.
And breaks the spell, stabs the book, gone. She gets ripped out of her dream walk. And
Like looks down and is
It's
like,
like,
oh damn,
oh,
the
no.
Darkhold just burned up.
right,
It's
now
gone.
what do I do?
It's gone. That was your main thing.
Yeah.
And what do I do? Well, I got the Sorcerer Supreme here.
Right. Tell me how do I get these spells back?
I won't tell you anything. Well, what if I threaten 5 of your people?
The 5 people I didn't kill here at Kamartage.
What you don't know is the people behind you are alive,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna kill them if you
I'm
don't.
going to
do this.
torture them.
And this is where
Even Giant Green Bull Man.
yeah, Giant Green Bull Man.
An actual character. Can't remember his name. Yeah, I got nothing.
None of us did. That was
I
weird.
tried to make something
he's a
up
real
that was
character.
realistic, but I got nothing.
Bull Shannon.
And this is where we find out about a new place for me in the MCU. Maybe not to a comic fan.
Yeah, Wundagore.
Wundagore.
Oh, yeah. Wundagore.
This is where the Darkhold was essentially written
Transcribed
from,
from the carvings on the wall.
and she says, "We're going for a
Oh,
ride."
yeah.
Gets the sling ring, puts it on him, says, "Let's go."
Yep.
And this is again a little bit back and forth. I mean, we can just finish the storyline though. Gets to this place. It's a giant tomb. It's like a giant on a top of this mountain. I mean,
Can't go all the way there
can't get there with magic.
because
Like you only get close, like certain close. But then she can't. But
she's
she
like-
can. But she
she's
can.
like- yeah, because it's a different kind of magic.
Right.
It's
She
magic and there's sorcery.
Yeah, but her magic, she can
Yep.
levitate right up in there. There's these giant beings guarding the place.
Yeah, giant demons.
Demons.
I believe these are particular named creatures, but I couldn't tell you what they are.
And it looks like they're gonna come in and kill her and Wong. Instead, they bow.
They bow to
She
her.
looks behind her, and it's definitely the Scarlet
yeah,
Witch, like
it's her
in
for
stone.
sure.
This is her place.
Yeah. Oh, I used to
Yeah.
live here, I guess.
This is like where it all started.
Yep, as it was sketched in the Darkhold itself.
Yeah.
We see that image of the Scarlet Witch. We saw that back in WandaVision.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't realize the Darkhold was like so connected to the Scarlet Witch. Like for me, I was like, this place is all like she didn't know about this. He told her, but like the Darkhold is always connected to like her power.
Well, in the comics, that's where she and Pietro were born.
This place.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Wow.
So I don't know if they'll play around with that, but I mean, also Magneto's their dad. So.
Yeah.
Hell, I
So
mean,
we'll see what they'll do with
Andy
that.
wore a
happens
Magneto
there.
shirt to the movie, and I was like, "Is this? Do you know something that I don't know?" All right. So that's Wanda. She's waiting. She's got her castle. She's got her power. She's just
reading
gonna
the walls.
She can read the walls, and she's gonna dream walk the shit out of it.
Yep.
Back to Doctor Strange and American Chavez in their glass cages, being held captive. They got handcuffs on with green little something on them that won't let them use their powers.
Green means stop.
Yeah,
green means stop in this universe.
Nice catch.
Good
Yeah.
job. And Dr. Christine Palmer is essentially the doctor that's like keeping them hostage. Oh, hey,
white
I know
coats.
you. I know you.
With a grant from the Baxter Foundation.
The Baxter
I mean,
Foundation.
when she said that, I leaned over to Carrie
Like, huh?
and I go, "That's Fantastic Four."
Yeah.
And Carrie's like, "What?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"I'll tell you later."
Oh,
I did the same thing to Shanna. I was, she said Baxter Foundation. I was like, oh, and Shannon was like, "Does that mean something?"
Oh, so great.
And I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
it's gonna mean something for sure."
I popped a semi. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all I'm gonna say.
100%.
Jock and Nerd, they call this a nerd boner.
Yeah, totally.
Because we've been waiting we live for little comments like that.
Oh yeah.
Like they Marvel doesn't put things in movies that don't mean anything.
Right.
Yeah, every line is just so meticulously placed.
Especially now. I mean, we in the early like phase 1 when they had to like come back and say, no, that really wasn't the Infinity Gauntlet you saw
Right.
in Asgard. But now everything is so fucking corporate,
Yeah.
that it's like we know exactly what our arcs are going to be and where
For the next 10 years.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
God bless them, because I mean that's why they're succeeding. And DC's like,
Yep.
I can't do anything with Superman. I mean, like wait for our Squirrel Girl franchise to
Yep.
hit. That'll really make you bitter.
It really,
So-
it really is true though. It's just it comes down to anything. It's like putting in the work to make a plan.
Yeah.
Mhm,
and like
sure.
sticking to it.
Well, and having a good plan and having a vision that fits the franchise. Feige, he lets auteurs do their thing, but it's not like where Zack Snyder is completely controlling, informing the DC universe. Like now everything is bleak and gray and dark and sad and edgelordy. So
Yeah, man.
big difference.
Well said. That's really perfect. That's a deep thought right there. I love it. All right, so we're getting into the big reveal here, man.
Like,
So
yeah.
Rachel gives the breakdown. Rachel, Rachel.
Oh,
Christine.
Oh, you mean Regina George?
Thanks,
Yeah.
Rach.
Oh,
Christine
man.
gives the breakdown like, hey, we can't just let you go crazy in here. You can have some sort of
Disease.
otherworldly pathogen.
Yep.
Or,
We don't know how your powers
Yeah.
work. And also, like your Earth, 616.
Yes.
This is our Earth,
832 or
838, I
something.
think.
Yeah.
838. But Mysterio already dropped the 616 line, even though he was a faker.
He was a faker. So what does that mean?
Maybe he dreamed about her 616.
Or
Yeah.
dreamed about it.
Someone
maybe
mentioning it.
Maybe.
I mean, that's a plot hole. So
It is a little bit.
We'll see.
Because I've always thought about that. I've always thought about, well, that was a real big mislead because, I mean, we're talking about Spider-Man Far From Home now, but
Yes.
I mean, he did say, like, I'm from Earth 616, and, like, that's a
Right.
very specific thing to
Yes.
say.
Yes.
But he was wrong.
He was, that's not where he was from.
Or he said,
Or no,
no,
it
he
is,
did.
for sure.
He said a different one. He said, like, I'm from Earth
Oh, right. Yeah.
212
But he said
or
the
something.
Earth Prime that he was on was 616. How do he know?
Yeah, how do you know
That's
that?
my question.
Especially since he was just, like, a guy
Yeah.
that, like, worked.
Yeah. Just randomly picks some numbers.
Pretty impressive to fake yourself
Yeah.
as a doppelganger, though.
Yeah.
All right, so she says they're ready to see you.
Yeah, Mordo comes up with the Ultron bots.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is it. I
was like, oh no, Ultron bots. Like,
we get a little.
we all know where this is coming or where it's going.
I mean, I know because of you. I was like, who are in these chairs?
Yeah.
As a fan that does not know about the Illuminati, I'm just
Mhm.
going, who's going to be in all these chairs?
Yeah.
And here we go. Slow walk in. I mean, I will tell you as a fan, I only watched the trailer once when it first came out, and I didn't watch anything
The
since.
first trailer. That's
First trailer. That
I,
was
ca-
it.
I don't know how you do it.
I mean, it's kind of easy. You guys need to practice more.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I'm going to.
As they're walking him in, I was having that Marvel feeling. I was having the, oh my God, okay,
Something is happening.
something's happening.
Something's happening. Something's happening.
And here they come one by one. Captain Carter.
Captain Carter.
There she is. What's her name? The actress?
Haley Atwell.
Haley
Haley
Atwell.
Atwell.
We got Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Maria Rambeau.
Maria
Rambeau. Same actor.
Same actress.
From Captain Marvel
Yeah.
that played, little Monica Rambeau's mom, who was Brie Larson's friend.
Mhm.
Now she's Captain Marvel. Looks great.
Yeah.
Not dead from cancer.
Not
No.
dead from cancer,
Right.
like in our universe, I would say. 616, I guess.
Right,
We're going to have to get good at this too.
Right.
Real life comic books happening.
Blackagar Boltagon.
I mean, I'm not even like a knower of this superhero. And I'm going, he looks amazing.
Yeah, Black
Holy
Bolt.
shit. This guy is the coolest. Like, what are they doing with this outfit with Black Bolt where it's like, I was like, oh, I remember this guy. If he talks, like, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah. Then they got the same guy from the show that failed.
Anson Mount.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Inhumans,
Inhumans.
yeah.
Are you
Inhuman show. That was the same guy.
I said he's the king of the Inhumans, and I was like, oh. You
Which
guys just
is-
blew my mind.
All
You
right.
just blew my top off. Now, am I gonna go watch Inhumans?
No,
Right.
I've never seen it.
it doesn't count.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I mean they've undone a lot of that Ike Perlmutter, Marvel TV shit, but also Black Bolt having strong connections with Fantastic Four,
Man,
Humans. So
well, it's like,
And we
well,
see
speaking of which,
the smartest man in the world.
you talking about fan service here? I mean, this is
Lost
what
Here we go.
my
People have
everybody
been
wanted.
begging for this.
Reed Richards, John Krasinski in the suit, Mr. Fantastic. I'll give it up for that too.
Man, when that thing scanned down and he came out, and
just
I
like from the comics,
I'm like, holy shit. And I resisted the urge to stand up and say, identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
That's good.
And I
Well
was
done.
like,
Yes.
oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
And here it is. They're doing their intro one at a time. I mean, really great intros.
They start to break it down to him.
Yep.
Like, hey, the multiverse, it's real. It's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
And, you shouldn't be here. You're the threat.
He's like, listen, though. A being called the Scarlet Witch is coming down to rain hell on you guys. She's going to get that kid if you don't do something. And they said, we're not worried about her.
Yeah.
We're worried about you.
Yeah.
You're the one that always ends abruptly. And they tell the story about how their Steven ruined another reality.
Right.
Which
they didn't get to that. They said
he died. He died.
He died. He was like,
You're
died
right. I jumped ahead. Yep.
protecting this world. And then you hear, we should tell him the truth. And you get that.
tell him the truth.
We should tell him the truth. And then you get that riff. And you see the shiny yellow.
You see that first.
Hover chair.
The hover chair.
And you're like,
nut.
Here it is.
Nut.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Hit the button.
Professor Xavier. Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
From the X-Men films, from the Singer films, from X-Men Days of Future Past, like just right here in front of you in an MCU film, playing himself, like in this reality, in the chair from the cartoon.
Yes. Yeah.
Looking old as fuck too.
Super old, really rattly voice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a sad day, but we're not going to talk about that. But
Oh.
I mean, yeah. So can we talk about casting here for a moment?
Sure. Like here, we got the team up here.
Yeah,
Let's talk
so
about it.
This is the money shot. This is the meat of the meat.
You see them all sitting there.
So my question is, I was going for a joke. I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'll come back to it.
All right.
What do you think of casting? Is this going to be a one shot for Krasinski? I don't think Stewart's going to be back in a significant capacity because he's 82, I think. But just wondering about those specifically. What did you guys think? What did you think of the acting? All that.
I will say, first of all, don't rule out anybody because they're old because of technology and Disney.
True.
Yeah. But it's cheaper and smarter to like not hinge a franchise on someone who's 82 and will probably be 85, 88 by the time he'll probably be retired. He might do like a Hollow Vision something. That
they've got him in like season 2 or 3 of Picard.
Right.
That's the final season.
It's got to be almost
it's
over.
It's over.
Yeah.
Krasinski. Was that a one time? I feel like it felt like a one time. If you're asking that, I feel like it felt like a one time. It felt like you'll never see him again.
Due to the next few scenes, I think this is absolutely
I agree.
one time for all of these characters.
Oh man, right? Because it's hard not to get right into that because you're right. Like this next scene kind of tells you like you probably won't see these again. I know it's. Here
with the multiverse, anything is possible.
Anything's possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, do they bring? Because like this Fantastic Four film is on the schedule.
Yes.
So like somebody's gonna have to be in it.
So here's why I'm going to say I think that Krasinski's going to be back. He's such a fan favorite. They cast him, and a buddy of mine says that's what they did. They did it, so now they can say, "Oh, we did it." But think of the backlash that would happen. It'll just be whoever they cast next, like. Oh, well, he's not John Kay. He's not Jim. We want Jim. We want Jim and Emily.
That's a heavy name.
Yeah.
Unless, unless you just bring in somebody where you're just like, if Marvel does their thing, which they usually do, and it's like, all right, that was a different multiverse, and like now here's your Reed Richards. I could totally see them bringing in like either maybe not a no name, but maybe like another big actor that isn't like John Krasinski primetime big. You know, maybe just a little bit more like.
I don't think he's any bigger than what Benedict Cumberbatch was when he was cast as Doctor Strange.
Yeah, to me though, like especially, I mean, I'm an American. I mean, it's like Benedict Cumberbatch is like almost a no name to a John Krasinski for me. Like, you know,
True.
You know, because like I haven't seen Sherlock, and like I don't know if I've seen anything else with Benedict.
Yeah, well, a lot of indie movies and stuff like that.
But that's me. That's
but
my
here's
taste.
the thing:
Yeah.
I think if they weren't going to go anywhere with it, they probably would have just brought back Ian Griffith from the first two Fantastic Four movies.
Right, yeah,
sure,
and just said, you know, if we just want to kill somebody, we'll just bring this guy back, who everybody already knows is Mr. Fantastic.
So you think he is coming back?
I think he'll probably come back.
Yeah.
What about Peggy Carter, Captain Carter?
I think she'll be back in some form. I think What If, this is my theory about What If, it is a test ground for marketing to see what ideas are popular. It's just like they did in the old comics, Tales of Suspense, those anthology comics, Tales of, to Astonish. It's like, we're going to put, they're going to be serialized, a few stories per issue. Let's see what people respond to. And then if they respond well, we're going to spin them off.
We're the ongoing experiment for sure.
Because Peggy Carter, I mean, Captain Carter wasn't even a thing before What If. Like, we had other people in the Illuminati in the comics. Namor, I was thinking Namor was going to be there.
Right.
But, he's rumored to show up in Black Panther too.
Yes,
so,
please.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it. We're talking a lot about like these characters being done. I mean, Stephen Strange was right. I mean, here she is. Scarlet Witch finds them. I mean, she uses her dream walking ability to find the other her in the multiverse. Just leaves her kids unattended.
Yep.
As good moms are wont to do.
Mom.
Yeah.
And still no vision ever.
No.
Oh, she didn't have a wedding ring, so maybe this reality they were not married, or maybe had been divorced. Who knows?
It's really interesting because she has those kids.
Maybe this.
What do they say?
Maybe there is no vision.
In
this universe.
Could be.
Yeah, because they say in every multiverse she has her kids essentially, and like
well,
Vision's
she's only
like,
visiting the ones where she has her kids.
That's true.
That's my
True.
guess, and probably maybe even the ones she would not go to one with Vision because Vision would be opposition to her.
Oh yeah.
So she would be
That makes
selective.
sense.
Because if we're thinking multiverse, there's one that exists for every single
true.
possibility
It's
in
infinite.
the world. Right. And we can't even comprehending infinity and make our heads explode.
You're so right. Yeah, she was just she sought out what she wanted.
Yes. Yeah, because we know how smart and calculating, if it's her, the Darkhold, I don't know what the percentages are there, where her sliders are, like how much she is Darkhold, how much she is Wanda.
Yeah.
But so that it's going to be, much smarter in that way.
Well, we find out exactly who she is, at least in this moment. It's her versus this Illuminati. I mean, this is the full force of the Illuminati. We'll take care of this. I'll start with the Ultron bots.
Yeah,
they do
slaughtering Ultron bots.
Which, I mean, was great.
She's
Shit,
covered in the oil. It looks like blood and gore.
Yes, looks like the zombie from What If.
Yeah.
She's like all crinkly.
Oh, I thought it was a reference to Carrie.
It was 100%.
My revenge tour.
Yeah.
Oh, had to be
for sure.
And it is a revenge tour, right? Like he's like, this is Ultron, right?
Yeah.
You killed my brother.
Yeah.
Here you are again.
I waited for a line for that.
Nothing.
And it didn't get anything.
Nothing at all. You thought
it's like my Ultron was better. Or, I've already killed you once.
Yeah. You get a little James Spader in there. I mean, if it wasn't James Spader, it was the voice actor that from What If, maybe, because it was like she throws the helmet. One of the helmets like rolls. It's right when she walks out, and you just hear twice like he's
That's cool.
I forget what he's saying, but it's just like protocols.
Yeah.
Knocks him out, and time to take on each of these guys at a time. Let's just talk about these deaths.
The four main ones show up.
Oh my god! I mean, together.
Black Bolt. You got Mr. Fantastic. You got Captain Marvel, and then you got Captain Carter. And you're like, well, this is an all-star team.
And you're like, hey, listen, I just saw Black Bolt's powers in that flashback where they
killed
Doctor Strange.
Their Doctor Strange.
So well done, where he just says it so softly.
I'm sorry, my friend.
So powerful.
Yeah,
I was really. Is that how they do a like better or worse than what was in that Inhuman show?
Didn't watch it.
Only two episodes aired, and then it was axed.
I mean, it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes, that Black Bolt can kill you with just a word of his mouth, and she says, "What mouth?"
Yeah. You look back, and it's like, oh, okay.
And then he
we're doing
makes
this
them
straight from the Matrix.
and he just makes a mistake.
You know, where they erased Neo's mouth and he couldn't talk.
Looks legit.
Well, it's I have no mouth and I must scream.
Yeah.
Is the reference there.
And he does.
Yeah.
And he does.
And bad move.
And it blows his head up.
He pizzaed when he should have French fried.
And he hits the
Implodes.
ground. That hit the ground. It was like
A wet slap.
Yep.
I was like,
Like,
whoa,
this
this is hard.
Like, this is Raimi.
Nasty.
Yeah, this is Raimi. Okay, let's see what Mr. Fantastic can
Oh,
do.
it's just like,
Oh, I'll just unravel you all the way until you're dead.
but before that, she was like,
Oh, this is great.
all right, dear. He was like, I have children of
No, she
my
says,
own.
do you have any kids? And he goes,
No, he was like, I know how you feel. I have children of my own.
Good call.
He's like, is your wife still alive?
Yeah.
Good, because they're gonna need someone to raise them. And just
throwing shade.
Oh my god.
just with a flip of the wrist,
And he's just like,
he just unravels like a ball of rubber bands.
Yeah.
and then like his head
Yeah.
like pops at the
Yeah,
end.
at the end, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is terrifying, and I love it.
And then they're like, all right, the two captains are left. Let's
And-
go.
And they look at each other and they're like, we're in trouble.
Yeah, well, we just lost those two.
Yeah.
And Captain Carter's like, I got a shield. And she
And a
tries.
jetpack.
The jetpack.
It
They
got
get
bifurcated.
little fan service. I mean, they got to do something, I guess. But
They put up a little more of a fight.
I could do this all
I
day.
could do this all day.
this all day.
I was like, I'd rather sing it.
Yeah, I
Oh,
could do
God.
this all day.
Day.
Yep. From the best Disney Plus show.
And I mean, cuts her in half. And then Captain Marvel, like the ultimate like showdown. Like
She's
this
not-
was good.
She
Powers versus
is
powers.
Pissed.
I mean, this was great. This was like
Yeah.
you were like, what does it look like when this character fights this one? I thought they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, it's almost like kind of a Civil War all over again. We see.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
The Marvel payoffs.
Yeah,
Like
this
in Avengers, where they're
huge
just giving you
payoff.
one at a time, like we're gonna show you all these. Don't worry. And they do. She kills them all, takes them down. Strange gets out, gets American Chavez, gets Christine Palmer. It's time to run.
You see Professor X.
Oh, this
show
is
up.
huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is huge.
And
he's
you're like-
the final one.
Yeah,
basically.
you're like, oh well, Professor X. We've seen him in action before. Shouldn't have any problem taking care of this.
This is mind control. Like you should be able to do this.
He's doing the the hand thing. Yeah.
Oh, he does the fucking thing from the comics, and you
Yeah.
see the wavy lines.
Yep.
Yeah, you
know?
saw the
Oh, God,
lines.
yeah.
I love that. And I almost
Or
felt
from
like
the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, that's like maybe for fans, like, right, like the cartoon. But I was
100%.
also like, this is also for people that don't have any idea who this is.
Right. Like, oh, I wonder what he's doing.
Who's
like,
that?
oh,
Oh,
I
his
see the
brain.
wavy lines. We got to have some sort of brain action
Again,
going
the whole
on
thing
here.
with him, and
Yeah.
and the theme, and he's wearing the hover chair, got me amped for the new X-Men series that they're going to be coming out.
Oh,
X-Men
97.
97.
90, whatever, yeah.
Oh, so pumped. I'm
Yeah.
so pumped for that
And they've
show.
gotten back so many of the original voice actors for
Yes.
it.
I mean,
Yes.
I think that's MCU. Just going to say it. I mean, that's
Oh,
like.
well, everything is now.
I know. I mean, they
Technically.
put it up there on the board with the MCU titles. I'm like, so you're talking. I mean, that show, you watch the old one, like 93 through 96, like they jump all over the place.
One of the cool connections that I don't know if they're going to come back to, I'd be curious, is if between Reed and Wanda is in the comics how much Sue and Reed relied on Agatha Harkness for Franklin, their child that they had. He has crazy powers, and Agatha had a lot to do with his upbringing and his like figuring out his powers, which were always changing. So I'm curious to know if with this Agatha series, if there will be anything that could be flirted with the Fantastic Four kind of a thing there as well.
Wow.
I had forgotten about that show.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot
Wow.
that was going to be a show. Like that's gonna, really good point
I mean,
because they're going to bring a lot.
She's stuck right now.
Yeah, she's
the wacky neighbor.
She's just the wacky neighbor,
Which is
like, that's
also
how-
really fucked up, and well, I mean, I guess she's paying for crimes, but still.
Yeah, but again, at Wanda's call,
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But
And-
the other thing with Wanda is that every things go sideways when people underestimate her or rob her of her consent, which is echoed larger in how we treat women in society. Like, take away consent, take away their voice, bad shit's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to go down.
Which, I mean, how ironic that, this is coming out Mother's Day weekend. What a movie to take mom to.
Yeah.
And then also just, it's like you couldn't have scripted anymore with things like with Roe v. Wade being back in the news again.
Yeah.
And
I
like how
mean-
much motherhood is like, it was, and even in the second to last episode of Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So much about motherhood and
It's like Mother's Day of Madness.
Yeah. Make my mother marvel.
Yeah, man.
We get Xavier jumping into her head.
I mean, yeah,
walking around, and you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, and he finds, to us, the audience, I mean, he finds Wanda.
He finds the Wanda from this universe.
Yeah.
Who has been suppressed by the dream walk.
Oh, my, because
she's
it's her
buried,
body.
She's buried in the rubble.
Thanks for clearing that up, because that was what got confusing for me, was like, is that good Wanda?
Yeah,
but it's not. This
universe is Wanda.
Universe 828 or whatever.
Yeah, the other
that
Wanda.
has been
What
taken
that has
over.
the kids.
Yeah.
She's like, help me. And Scarlet Witch comes in.
Here comes the Scarlet Witch mist.
And she just kills him.
Yeah,
kind of look like
comes out of the mist and grabs him, snaps his neck, which happens in reality.
Kind of look like the WandaVision house, just crumbled.
Yeah,
to pieces.
Could be.
It's all come crumbling down. All right, so I mean, Illuminati's dead.
Dead.
That was except for Carl.
She comes back to reality.
Yep.
After killing Xavier.
Yep.
Oh, America's gone. America and Christine are gone.
They got out.
They've gotten out. They're running through the hallways.
Time to chase them on foot.
Yeah.
And here they go, run.
You
close
could
the
see
barricades.
she's like walking barefoot like this whole time.
Yeah.
Over glass. So she's not, she's doing a little zombie shuffle kind of.
Yep.
Following them, and you get the chase scene. Christine and America come around the corner and they see the shadow coming. Like, what's happening? You're like, oh man, here comes something else. And here comes Doctor Strange. Runs past him. Like, oh, hey.
Yep.
Let's go, guys.
Time to go.
Yeah, time to go. Oh, I fixed your cape.
They fixed your cape. It's all stitched up. We found each other.
Now it's got that classic patch, the blue patch on the back.
Yep.
Oh,
and
great.
It's time, they collectively agree, like, it's time to get back to, like, getting this book.
We've got to get the book of Vishanti.
Like, all the Doctor Stranges were right. The one from the beginning of the movie, the only way to stop her, she's got this Darkhold magic. We need another book that's, like, good and powerful. It's in the center of this place of the in-between of the multiverse.
Like a crossroads.
They make it.
Something.
They stall Wanda for just a moment, and then they get to the book. And this is where
Wanda just shows back up.
She shows up, and it
destroys the book.
Destroys the book immediately.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the way it's going to work. That's destroyed, and American Chavez does. Oh, she gets held by Wanda. This is where she gets captured.
Yeah.
This is it. Wanda gets American Chavez, captures her, opens the portal, like, by controlling her with her powers, sends Doctor
Strange and Christine
to
somewhere else.
Like, nowhere. Reality that's like
somewhere
down
that
on
an
itself.
Incursion has happened.
An incursion has happened. This is like this is the word they use for when a multiverse is like crowded into another somehow. And this is one that's falling apart, and there's only one person left, and it's a bad guy, Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to call it. Does this guy have a name? He's got 3 eyes. He's got the Darkhold on his hip, and like, he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
And we get a Doctor Strange versus Doctor Strange. Like, for this Darkhold, our Doctor Strange realizes the only way I'm going to be able to beat Wanda is to get the Darkhold and kind of fight fire with fire, do a little dream walking myself.
Yeah.
I know that they're back on Earth 616. So, Christine, you watch over me. I've already defeated this Doctor Strange.
We had that cool scene with the music notes.
Yeah,
this
we
music
get like
note
battle.
A classic, like, in the first Doctor Strange and in Infinity War, where they just they go crazy with the magic. You remember in Infinity War, he made the butterflies.
Yeah.
And the weird stuff. We just go a step further.
The Crimson Bands of Sitarak.
Yes. Yeah. We go a step further here.
The
And
winds
just
of...
he's pulling stuff out of everywhere. There's notes, and the other Doctor Strange fights back with
he's got like
music bars.
Yeah,
and
music bars. I was like, this is insane.
I was like, we're going real wacky with
It looked amazing in 3D.
It did.
Oh,
I bet it did.
Shit.
See,
I bet.
You guys got to see it in 3D.
Okay, maybe I will. Like, I
And
definitely
high
want to see
as
this
fuck.
again. I will say that. But then he gets him. Probably looked real sick in 3D. Was the single note
From the harp.
He's like, I can get one more blast in him. Knocks him out the
Sends him out the window.
and he gets stabbed and he's dead.
Impaled on the thing. He's laying there, and Christine came up, and a little third eye opened.
Oh my
A
god!
little jump scare there.
That third eye. Apparently, like, that's what happens when you read the Darkhold too long.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm going to read the Darkhold. I learned how to dreamwalk. Only one catch. There's not a living Doctor Strange.
There's no I thought there had to be another Doctor Strange in the universe.
Another living. He's like, well, it doesn't say living.
Yep. That doesn't have to be alive. And we're like, oh, man.
Guess who's making a comeback? The very first Doctor Strange you saw in this movie, pretty much a full-on zombie effect on this guy.
Chekhov zombie.
Yeah.
Chekhov zombie.
Hope you watched. Like, as in Chekhov's gun, the dramatic element. Anton Chekhov, famous playwright, says like if you introduce a gun in the first act, it has to go off by the end of the movie.
Okay,
so we've
yes.
got Chekhov's zombie. It's like we saw the guy at the beginning, so he has to turn into a zombie. By the end.
He was just sitting there waiting for a big reveal at some point. Something was going to go down.
And we saw it in the trailer.
Did we? I was surprised.
Well, you did in the trailer.
We saw
what you see
a
is
zombie Doctor Strange.
They show like with all the arms.
And I'm like Logan. I tried to avoid as much as I can, so I can go in as untainted
cold.
as possible. I go dark on Reddit, like at least the day of, and sometimes the day before, and then I just try to see the movie as soon as I can.
Yeah, I just go cold. I'm like, okay, what do I know? Like, do I want to watch anything old? I'll definitely do that. Do some rewatches going in, but new stuff, I'm like, I don't need to see the trailer 3 times. Like, I'm not trying to see the movie early.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I would. Yeah, get us those screenings, whoever's listening.
Yes.
All right, so he's in that Doctor Strange body. He's like, I got to get to Wanda. He gets to the Wanda Scarlet Witch castle. The ghosts are like trying to take his body back to hell. And
gotta protect me from the spirits of the damned.
And she says, you're a master of the mystic arts. So, like, you should be able to control these things in theory. And he's like, well, let me focus. All right.
Starts
badass.
sucking him in.
I mean, sucks him in,
awesome.
puts him on his back, and just flaps these spirit wings all the way across.
Spirit wings.
And does enough interruption, just enough to get Wanda off of American Chavez. All the while, Wong works his way up. He's part of the fight now, takes down the demons. It's Doctor Strange and Wong essentially versus Wanda, and they lose immediately. She gets Doctor Strange on the ground. Wong is knocked out, and we get a nice little speech here, mentor to mentee. Doctor Strange, America Chavez.
Wong straight up tells him, you have to take her powers.
He says it.
Yeah.
After all this, Wong's like, you should take her powers.
You've got to take her powers. It's the only way.
It's the only way.
And America's like, you got to take my powers.
And he goes,
no.
You can do this.
You got this, kid.
And she did.
And kinda.
She gets up, she punches Wanda in the face. I thought that's pretty bold.
Yeah.
Like this, and like
couple of kicks,
couple of kicks.
Open a portal behind her, trying to get her in, and she's not having it.
Not having it.
And America realizes, well, I can't beat you,
but I can
give you exactly what you want. Opens the portal to the kids.
Rips into the living room of this house. Wanda's there, the old Wanda's
the other
there,
Wanda.
the other Wanda, the kids, and they just are terrified, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Petrified.
Brilliant.
Like, stay away. You don't kill my mom.
Slaps
You're not
away,
my mom.
Yeah, she slaps away the other Wanda.
And this is it.
And they're like, oh my God, you're a monster. And she's starting to realize, yeah, I'm a monster.
Which the effect of that was muted a little bit if you had seen the Supreme Strange episode of What If. It's the exact same thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
He's wanting Christine the whole wanting Christine the whole episode, and then by the end, when he finally has enough power to be with her, she's like, what are you? What
are you even?
Because he's become so malformed by all the evil he's absorbed.
That's the same. It's the
power.
same concept.
Absolutely.
Like, look what you've become. Like, and I mean, how many people have you killed in this movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was a very cool twist in that it was America, a woman who was empowered at the end and believed in at the end things that have consistently not been there for Wanda. It's the difference between this is what happens when we believe and encourage women, and this is what happens when we don't. And I think that's one of the messages that's going on there, and I thought that was really cool.
Very nice, very cool. Yeah, it was like, again, it's like, I wish I would have seen more of America Chavez.
Yes, and we will.
Like, that was
Disney
it.
making that paper, Young Avengers, baby.
Yeah, she is a young Avenger for sure.
Yeah, you're putting down the track for that train.
We have got quite a lineup.
Yeah.
What are we looking for? Is that going to be do we know yet? Or is that just going to be like a working thing?
Disney Plus, probably.
TV show? Series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might get a movie. I don't know.
I can see that. Like, they'll show up in Secret Wars somehow.
Yeah. Young Hawkeye. We got Billy and Tommy. We got
man,
The
Don't have Hulkling yet, but we might after she.
the original Black Captain America's kid.
We'll get Ironheart.
Yep.
Yeah,
Ironheart,
Riri
yep.
Williams for sure.
That's something that could have multiple seasons for sure.
Mhm.
Just could go on.
Oh, yeah.
forever.
Yeah, that's a whole other storyline there.
Thank God
yeah.
Greg
Then-
Berlanti didn't get to it first. Well, shit, he might still.
Yeah.
He's pretty heavy with DC though. So.
All right,
That's
so
true.
she sees the truth. She crumbles down. Wanda's like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Here's what I'll do. You know, everybody, America Chavez, Doctor Strange, they're out of here. Wong, they're out of here. I'm going to destroy my castle.
Mm-hmm.
That's over. And I'm going to destroy, because that's the Darkhold, essentially.
Right.
And then we see Doctor Strange.
And Christine in the other universe.
Yep.
And the Darkhold just disappears.
It's gone. So
She's-
she has now destroyed all of them across the multiverse.
Every universe.
Pretty powerful.
Talk about some ramifications. I mean,
Yeah.
are they tugging on a string here? Like this, I mean, that could be like unlimited stories, I feel
Well,
like.
I
right?
mean, it's exactly what they feared. Wanda had or the Scarlet Witch had the ability to affect every universe.
Yeah.
Everywhere in the multiverse.
Yeah.
And if she had gotten America's powers,
That was it.
that was the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, this could have happened for sure.
Then all of a sudden, all right, you remember WandaVision and Westview and what she did. It's like, well, she can do that to the multiverse now.
Everywhere.
So, like, we got to nip this in the butt.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange and
just brings
Christine.
down the house.
Doctor Strange and Christine.
Yeah, they get a little magical moment.
That was nice.
I love you in
I d-
every universe.
I thought I was over it. I was like, oh, this is so long ago. But then, like, the moment he says it, I don't know. I'm in love. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I
Here
guess
we
that
go.
part hit a
God
little.
dang it.
But I was over it kind of quickly. But I was like, she's like, that'd be nice if you showed me. And I was like, are they kind of teasing that this could happen? Like another storyline one day? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I got to go. And then they didn't show them waiting like another 4 hours for America to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, this is awkward.
I like how it called back to like the beginning of the movie at her wedding when he didn't really get to say his piece.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Christine had made her speech.
Yeah, and he
about,
was just like,
you've always got to be holding the knife.
And he never got
You've
to say like
always
what
gotta
it
be-
meant
right.
to him. And he finally got to say that.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, that's the whole theme of that Doctor Strange episode. Like, it's just like, it's like the love is at such a core of this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this movie's wrapping up. American Chavez comes back and gets him. She is now a student of the Karmatage.
Yeah, Karmatage.
Nailed it. It took me the whole episode. And she's learning. She's got the sparkles going. She's there with Wong. Has a little dialogue with Doctor Strange, like, I'll see you around. I'll be here doing my thing.
Yeah.
He's like, he told her earlier, like, your parents are probably still alive. She got
For sure.
got her two moms that got
Yeah.
sucked through her first portal
We
ever. That
saw
might
that
be
in
a
a
story.
flashback.
Could be something one day. And that's it. That's Doctor Strange, I think. I mean, what happens at the very end here?
The end, the eye. Realize
So
it.
it's the very end. He's at the Sanctorum. He's like, I'm gonna. You know what he does? He gets his
Put my
watch.
sweater on.
It was super
He
uplifting.
fixes his watch.
Because the whole theme of the movie too was also like, am I happy?
Am I happy? Yeah.
And like, what's happy? And
It's
like,
like, I'm gonna
who
put
isn't
this-
struggling with that all the time?
I've been hanging on to this trauma
yes,
for so long, and the watch represented that.
and it's all cracked.
It's all cracked. He replaces the cracked part.
He's like, I'm gonna wear
Fixes it.
puts on regular shirts.
Regular clothes. Walks out of it.
He's kind of whistling almost.
Mr. Rogers-esque coming out of the building
Crossing the street.
and just screaming in pain all of a sudden.
Third eye.
Third eye. Boom.
just like-
awakened.
I mean, it only took him using the Darkhold once.
Yeah.
And he's got this third eye coming on. And we're like, oh shit, is he
Right.
evil now?
Here we go. Roll credits.
Roll the credits. In credit scene number 1. Charlize Theron.
He's just he's just walking down the street.
Again,
Okay, he's walking again. You're like, was this earlier in the day?
Right.
That's what you do in New York. You have to walk everywhere.
Yeah,
so it's
Hey,
believable.
I'm walking here.
He's walking. It's going fine. And out of nowhere, a being shows up.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron. I don't know who this is. Purple dress, blonde hair. She goes, hey, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
You got to help me save this multiverse or what? And like
Yeah.
whips out a sword.
There's
rips.
been you've caused an incursion.
She's cut a hole in reality. And it looks like kind of like where Dormammu's from.
This is exactly where Dormammu's from. This is the dark dimension.
Dark dimension.
Finally. Ramifications. I guess Doctor Strange 3.
Yeah. It's like, huh? You gonna help me fix it? or are you chicken?
And he goes,
I'm in. Just like rips his sweater vest off.
Opens his eye.
Opens the eye. Like, let's do this.
It's like part of him. He's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with this storyline? He's going to have this eye a lot?
I don't know as much about it, but
yeah, this is just some sort of awakening he's had.
All right, and this character is?
This is Clea.
And you guys are familiar?
She is the current Sorcerer Supreme in Earth 616.
Oh, shit.
In the comic books.
Will ultimately get married, probably.
They have been married before in former storylines.
This love story's over.
She is
now a new one.
She is the Sorcerer Supreme in the Dark Dimension and the niece of Dormammu.
Oh, man. And he doesn't know this.
He's not going to know any of this information.
He's just like, I'm coming along for the ride because I'm just...
And you need some help?
I'm Doctor Strange.
I'm Doctor Strange. Give me the knife.
I got 3 eyes. I can see good.
Right.
And that's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. Roll the rest of the credits.
And then we get number 2.
We get scene number 2. Bruce Campbell. Still fighting his hand.
That dude's going to have CTE by
Yeah.
now. Punching yourself. I mean, I could not take probably even like 2 punches to my head.
Right. And then
he's like
for
this.
3 weeks.
He's just sitting there.
It finally stops. He's like, finally. And he looks right at the screen. Classic. Breaking the fourth wall. It's over. End.
I mean, what do you think we did right when we got home? We were just watching Burn Notice.
Oh my God, I love Burn Notice.
Yeah, Carrie's a favorite, but man, Bruce Campbell just...
You know, spies. Bunch of bitchy little girls.
That's the opening. It's the opening. I'm really into it right now.
Love it.
All right, man. We just talked all about this movie. Great recap. Way to work in the conversation. I really respect the way that you identify what we're talking about in the part of the movie. I feel like sometimes we get caught up in the recaps. Steven did a good job, like kind of breaking in that conversation along the way to help us kind of have the conversation along the way. And I really think that's something we can bring into our recaps forever. So
for sure,
Steven, thanks for coming, man. This is awesome. I want to hear some thoughts on this movie. Let's go ahead and do a couple round tables before we get to the ratings. Let's start with the favorite things you saw. Like we talked about the cameos. We talked about maybe things that you're excited that will come from this movie. And what'd you love most about it? And, poke any holes that you see, too.
John Kay was seeing him as Reed. Just absolutely love that. I'd be a huge Fantastic Four fan, and I've been waiting for them to get that franchise right.
Yes.
The only time I've ever seen it was there's an animated series. I think it was just called Fantastic Four.
Oh, my God. Like an anime kind of style?
Yeah, World's Greatest by Mike Young Productions.
Love that
Isn't it good?
show. It is so good.
The costume design sucks. It's like mostly white, blue shoulders, and a red.
What's it called?
I think
it's just called Four.
Is it Fantastic Four, Earth's Mightiest Heroes,
something
or
like
World's
that.
Greatest Heroes?
Okay.
It's on Disney Plus.
It is?
It's got to be,
so.
right? They got the
for sure.
It's
library.
made by Moonscoop Productions. They did the He-Man reboot in like 2003 or so, when they did a lot of cool, more adult redesigns. The show's amazing. They get down the family bickering. The dialogue's great. You have so many different characters from the Marvel Universe come in, which that's actually, I love seeing that, because that to me reminds me of as a kid watching Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yes.
And that was my entry point for comics when I was like 5 or 6. And then, but they brought in so many guest stars in that show. You see Green Goblin, you see Wolverine, you see Captain America, Thor, and even obscure like Mastermind and Toad. You see these people come in. It's like, oh, that's really great. Anyway, sorry. That's
great. A great tangent.
Seeing that happen. Love that. Are we doing loves right now? Things that we really liked?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Whatever's on your soul about this movie. This is the time to like say like what I felt, what you thought about it, what you felt about it.
But just positives.
And this is just or negatives.
Okay, bring it all out.
No, this is
so I kept thinking about, I guess was No Way Home the last Marvel movie before this one?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, there was nothing like in January, February that I'm missing out.
Right.
So
absolutely nothing.
And No Way Home, that was so good. I mean, that to me, it's like right below Endgame in terms of like best Marvel movie ever.
Top tier, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This did not have that same feeling to me. It didn't feel like I wasn't carrying it with me. A lot of awesome things I saw, but the emotional arc that Peter went through and all the Peters went through in that film were just so impactful, and the side characters. This did not have that. And I think what it comes down to is Doctor Strange's arc is so inconsequential in the grand scheme. It's like his thing that he's trying to do is try not to be in charge all the time. Let other people help.
Right.
That's something that you get at a fucking weekend seminar, you know, for, you know, go to Stephen Covey's, you know, 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. Wanda's is, I want my children and I will do anything to get them back. She's far more compelling. She's more layered, more complex, more interesting. I think that the movie, the structure of it shifted from him at the center, make it Scarlet Witch in the Multiverse of Madness, where we've got the bad guy, that's the main thing, while Steven's the antagonist. Now that could also be like a little bit too samey compared to No Way Home. But for me, it's like there just was not as much at stake. I enjoyed it. I liked the movie a lot. But again, it's like because I like this stuff, you know, and it's like, if you don't like this stuff, I can't say that it's like a great, you got to go see it movie. I agree with 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's fine by me. It's still good. I still enjoyed it, but it's just that it starts abruptly and in a way it ends abruptly, you know, and it's like, it just feels like the middle of a major event comic series and a crossover comic that I would picked up to read through it. It's like, oh, well, we're really still churning along. It's like nothing, like a lot of things and also nothing, but nothing. I mean, there's a lot of plot and there's a lot of plot in No Way Home, but it's the emotional arc that is so, it's just not there for me with Steven, but with Wanda, absolutely. And I think that she needed another beat for resolution rather than just a bunch of shit falling down on top of her again.
Yeah.
She needed more there. And I think we can tell stories from the point of view of who we think is good, but they're actually bad. Like The Last of Us is an amazing story where it's told from the point of view of someone that really fucks over the world, you know, but because he thinks he's doing the right thing. And I think that had it been done that way, that would have been far more interesting to me.
Yeah. Good take. Fair share. I like, and like really, I mean, I agree with 80% of what you said. Like it's all true. Giggler, let's go to you, man. What are you thinking?
Yeah. So this didn't disappoint at all. And the only thing that messed it up was pretty much myself seeing shit on social media. I'm gonna go the Logan route now and try to avoid everything. Like my buddy Dan, who saw the movie with us the other day, he had not even seen a trailer. We're walking in and he goes, "Wow." He goes, I have a feeling that Patrick Stewart's going to be in this movie. And I was like, I can't say anything right now that without spoiling anything. So just like, maybe just wait 10 minutes when the movie starts and we'll see.
Yeah, that's what you always do.
Just like, I would love, like, I knew all of the Illuminati people that were going to be in there before. So it's
same.
Just, yeah.
It
just
takes
something
all
away.
of them?
I'm done. I'm done with that. There's so many accounts that I'm going to unfollow from social media.
100%.
Because
especially the ones that share spoilers.
It would have been so much
as soon as they become apparent.
Well, it's not even this wasn't spoilers. These were just like speculations over the past year or two. So I don't know if it could be a spoiler. Someone knew and it got leaked, and you just see it in the echo chamber of social media. But still, I really enjoyed the movie. Wanda was amazing. I've been wanting to see resolution of where her character arc is coming since WandaVision. I rewatched that last week and it was so enjoyable. That's my number one MCU show for sure.
So
that's going to be a tough one,
absolutely,
unbeat, especially because the WandaVision times, like where we're dissecting every frame of of everything in that. Like, that was amazing.
So dense.
We're making it up as we go along.
I'm loving what we're getting to with Secret Wars, like we talked about last episode. That is exactly what's exactly. Like I cannot wait. But I think a lot of people might have expected more cameos and it to be more of like a huge like Avengers level event. But I guess this is the other side of the social media thing that I talked about. But like last week, I think even the director said something like, "Oh, you shouldn't be expecting that many cameos." And I kind of thought about it, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Like this is a Doctor Strange movie. Like it's going to be have Wanda in it too. But like I think no one saw her coming as the main villain. That's for sure."
I agree.
It ended up
I didn't see that
hitting it out of the park. I thought there was going to be like some other entity that
I thought it was going to be Supreme Strange.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, exactly. They now at least they're doing a good job of like misdirecting us through trailers at least.
Yes. And
like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
I was just going to say what a good job Marvel has done to go back and redefine their antagonists. Because I mean, even just looking at the first Doctor Strange, Caecilius, you know, and he had like sparkly, glittery eyes, like he's, you know, I don't know, lost at a My Little Pony convention. And the other thing is like his wants and needs and his desires, they're so shallow when you stack them up next to Thanos, Killmonger,
Right.
and now Wanda. These, Marvel went back and they're like, our villains are just not cutting it. That's what our fans are saying. And that's Marvel has been very good about doing what their fans want to do, as doing what an auteur, again, like a Zack Snyder wants to. Like, this is what I want to see. I want to see, a universe where even Lois Lane could get, raped and murdered. I mean, he said this shit. And it's like, okay, that's nice, but it's like Marvel has really gone back to be like, this is what our fans are saying. They say that our villains are crappy, which in phase 1, there are a lot of crappy villains. I would love to see what, like, if they could redo it, what would the Russo brothers do with Red Skull?
Oh my God. Yeah. So 100% wasted.
Yeah.
On the first Captain America movie.
I did like that movie a lot, but I know it's such a different animal. All those phase 1s are, Iron Man pretty much set the tone, but then you go and you watch Incredible Hulk and it's like, oh, this feels kind of like, the late 90s Marvel movies before they figured the stuff out. And that's because Feige was taking, commands from above. And then after phase 2 and Thor Dark World, it was like, okay, you can have it.
Yeah.
And that's when I think things went to real next level. It got so much better.
Mm.
It was I guess it was Winter Soldier where things really turned around.
Yeah, Russo brothers came in, just knocked it out.
Yep. Best Marvel movie. So.
Scotty Scoop, tell us what you're thinking.
This was a fun movie. I don't think it was particularly great. I had a lot of fun watching it, a lot of fan service, which elevated it. And I think the horror aspect, having not have anything to do with the Marvel universe before, really added some depth that, you could tell that this, even though this was the Multiverse of Madness, it was very choppy.
Mm-hmm.
You could feel the delays, the COVID reshoots.
Yeah, you could.
The director change. The fact that this was supposed to come out before Spider-Man, and they had to kind of rewrite everything to make it work. That said, I still had a great time, enough to watch it twice.
Yeah.
I really wanted more cameos. I really had my heart dead set on Tom Cruise's superior Iron Man. And I really wanted Namor
I think you just
to
gotta
show
wait.
up.
Just wait.
I'd like, he's dating Haley Atwell.
Who is?
Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Did you think you?
She's
Or
in
no,
the
maybe.
she's
No, I
in the
just like
next
her, and she doesn't need Scientology.
Yeah, like what?
hate Scientology. Tom Cruise is my favorite actor.
He's
of
a
all time.
fantastic actor. Yes.
She's in the next 2 Mission Impossible movies.
Mm.
So, they just said they just couldn't get him.
Yeah.
And I really wanted Namor. Other than that, it was
a good Doctor Strange movie.
Good Doctor Strange movie. I think it ends somewhere in the middle of the pack of the MCU.
Yeah, good call.
Talk about fan service, and I think that I agree with you. Well, clearly, Reed, as John K. as Reed, definitely fan service. But this compared to a movie that I think botches fan service, Rise of Skywalker, all the stuff that was included for fan stuff, Lando, and maybe it's Lando's daughter, and just a lot of bullshit that it's like, that was unearned fan service. This is more like, we're so sorry we did The Last Jedi. Will you take Lando's daughter as our apology? As compared to this is like, yeah, we're going to do this because it's what you wanted, but we're also going to wipe the slate clean.
This is good fan service.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I
This
agree.
is positive fan
and it
service.
helped the story.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And it gives you an outlook on anything's possible. Like, hey, we fan serviced you these characters, and then we slaughtered them.
Yeah, right in front of you. I loved that. Like,
Yes.
what a move.
Yeah,
Like, you're not
for
gonna
sure.
like you like them. Don't like them for too
Yep.
long.
This is what you wanted, right? Nah, sorry.
All right, I'll give my take here, then we'll do a final roundtable of ratings. So, boys, get your ratings ready. Yeah, I said this, on Twitter. It was just not what I expected. I had the same feelings as I watched this movie. That, my gosh, this looks amazing. This is so great. This looks so good. The fight scenes, the animation, all right, Doctor Strange is back. I feel okay. But I just could not shake this feeling.
Something just wasn't
there.
Stitching it together.
And as I talked about with Carrie afterwards, kind of told her, I found myself doing what you were doing, Scott, like explaining the reshoots, explaining the timing of how it all changed, and saying like this movie was like around, just in probably a totally different place before, 6 months ago, where like after No Way Home comes out, you can just see how like they just work certain things. I'm like, that was probably a reshoot. That was probably a reshoot. I found myself also like feeling like I could acknowledge like the awkward breaks. But then after thinking about it and realizing that like this is Doctor Strange 2, I had also put it on a pedestal to feel like it was going to maybe be like an Avengers level event because, well, hell, it had been delayed a year and a half.
Right.
And it felt like after seeing like No Way Home and like all these shows coming up that I was almost worried that it would be too many cameos and that it would just be this fan service shit show. And it wasn't that. I really like the route that, Raimi went and like the writers went with bringing in characters that you could not believe were on the screen and then just, again, murdering them right in front of your eyes, just as a nod of like, all right, more to come for like anything can go.
Right. We've got multiple universes
and there's so
endless
many ways,
universes of these characters.
And you could do it in ways that wasn't like crazy story build up. Like you could literally have like, Ironheart, and then like someone shows up in episode 3 from like a multiverse that's like connected to their world.
Yeah.
And it could just be like, well, now you got like this other Iron Man character, get what you want for Scotty Scoop.
Bring it.
So after all that, I had a great time. I did not feel anything like when I watched No Way Home. And I didn't feel anything like when I watch Age of Ultron and I'm just sitting there thinking like this is maybe a perfect movie. It wasn't that I didn't think it was bad, but I also feel like that the Doctor Strange arc storyline a little thin. Doctor Strange though, I didn't read the comics, but like I can deduce a lot. Like Doctor Strange is the character to like take you through the cosmos. And like he's the one that can kind of be in any story. And like his storyline is going to be kind of just like another thing that moves everything else along. Like you're going to meet some new characters, you're going to get some new storylines. We're going to teach you more about the multiverse. Here's a little bit about when you die. And now that's Doctor Strange.
Right.
So like you said, you're bitching about Doctor Strange not being Doctor Strange. Like that's who he is, but I would like to see some heartfelt arc,
some real character
because like the drudging up the Christine story, it just didn't feel real because like I've seen him in 3 other movies.
Right. Like, here's a little Christine in the front and a little Christine at the end, and it just wasn't. It wasn't fully fleshed out.
We need something more at stake for him to lose or to gain.
Totally
that's the problem. When you're watching a movie, you're like, why is it feels like it's a car that's struggling to go uphill. It's usually because there's not enough tension, and the tension is like, well, what is at stake for the character?
Yep.
And here it was just like, you need to let other people lead. Again, okay, kind of interesting, but that's like a D plot.
That's like an origin story lesson to learn. Like that's like early days hero stuff. I totally agree with you that like this is something that you still can't quite figure out.
It would be better served if it were a team-based movie. If it were an Avengers something or a Cyclops learning how to lead or whatever, or I don't know, something to that effect. But it's just that it just wasn't enough. It's like he needed to have more to lose. Like the What If Strange Supreme story, that's fucking fantastic.
That was way more character development than this entire
in 30
movie
minutes.
had.
And that was
for
also
Doctor
around
Strange.
and that was also around Love and Christine and like, man, Rachel McAdams, like she's fantastic. But like I didn't feel even that in this movie.
Then maybe that's what it could be done if Wanda becomes our protagonist, then Strange Supreme becomes the antagonist. That could be interesting. Then we close on leaving this demonic Strange at the end that exists in the universe, and while Wanda gets resolution with her kids in a healthier way. I think that's how I would redo it.
Yeah,
but it's not what we have, and so you got to go with what we have.
Right. And where does it go? Like we'll see, man. Like I'm excited most. Like how I feel at a lot of these. I'm excited for what comes next, but like at that certain point, like. I'm not going to always feel like that. At a certain point, you're like, you just want this movie to feel as good as all the Marvel movies. Right. But like, you're always going to have your Thor 2s, your Doctor Strange 2s, your Iron Man 3s. Like, you're going to have these in between stories. And the truth is, I do love those movies. And I'm a fan of those stories. Like, I'm a fan of the offbeat, not mainstream. Like, I'm a huge Thor 2 fan. I think that like that's one of the best Marvel movies because it's like the most traditional comic storyline. Like this is what this character is, and that's what they did here. So I think when I go back and watch this, I think we should do a roundtable rating right now and just see how we all feel. Like, hit it real hot. I think it might be higher next time was what I was going to say. Let's do it right now and rate the thing. Close this thing out as we go into coming up. Stephen Walden, we're going to start with you, our guest, and we're going to go hot. Rating is all I want. We'll go roundtable. Hit it.
3.2.
3.3.
3.0.
3.1.
I'm surprised that I liked it the most out of that. I should have gone lower.
No, that was real.
I think this was really a case of the hype train taking you too far.
I think it was too. And we still rated it high because
I think
we're MCU fans.
It was still a good movie.
Yeah.
And it's recent. Here's the other thing I think would be cool to do on the show. Revisit this in a year when you got more content, more distance from it.
Oh, yeah.
And be like, I'll watch it again. And this because there are films I have softened against, and there are others that I've become more of a fan of.
Absolutely.
100%.
I'll always hate Dark World, though. Fuck Dark World.
That's great. It's that's a huge part of our show is watching it again.
Once phase 4 starts to round the corner to phase 5, you'll start to realize all those seeds they planted in this movie. And you'll watch it again. You'll be like, I can't believe I didn't think of that, or I can't believe I missed it.
Yeah.
And they called, you watching whatever Secret Wars in 3 years, and you're like, oh, what? We remember it all started in Doctor Strange 2. Genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think of the shows we're gonna get now: America Chavez and Ned at Camertage.
Yeah, they're just hanging out,
learning to be magicians.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
There's
all
your
for
show
it.
right there.
Yeah,
I know. I'll
call us, Kevin.
Marvel's Harry Potter.
Here's our idea.
All right, man.
Wong would be in it. You put Shang-Chi in there. Boom.
Let's go, all of them. And we are bringing you a surprise right now into the studio here for our biggest episode in a long time. We're bringing back an old friend that actually is part of a podcast that inspired mostly superheroes. I see him on right now. I hope he's ready to say hello. He's here to give us his take on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Guys, welcome. A 7-year podcast out there that has inspired me to do what we're doing in here. I'm so happy to have back again, who's been on the show, Imran of the Jock and Nerd podcast.
What's up, fellas?
Yes.
Imran, what's up, man? I can actually hear you now. If you were talking before, I couldn't.
No, I just started talking. It's good to see you guys. I can see you. I just flew through several multiverses to get here. I was in the wrong multiverse. Sorry, I'm late. I was at another. It was the wrong universe.
There he is. Welcome back, man. How you been, dude?
Good. How's it going? I see your fantastic set in there. This is amazing.
Thank you so much. It's been, we've come a little bit of a way since the last time you were on our show. This is a whole new space now. It's exploded over the time. I mean, I think that that we could have never expected for all of these things to be coming up for us. I mean, at this point, almost weekly, right? Just a new title all the time. How has Jock and Nerd been doing, handling all this new content coming in, man? And tell some little people about where they can find your show real quick before we dive into this quick talk.
It is a golden age for comic book content, right? Like, you told 12-year-old me that you'd be getting all this stuff, I would have been like, get out of here. Get the hell out of here. I'm proud of you guys. The set looks great. Jock and Nerd podcast. Like you said, if you like what these Logan and these guys talk about here, it's a great companion. Geek news, entertainment. We got comic book movie reviews over at jockandnerd.com, shows every week. And I couldn't be prouder of you, Logan. Look at what you built. It's amazing.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Hey, you don't happen to have your mixer there, do you? Can we get a Jock and Nerd soundbite?
I don't have the soundboard plugged in. You should have given me heads up.
I know, that's it. Hey, wait, do it live.
I'll try. Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd. Jock and Nerd. Jock and Nerd. That's right.
Bad. Listen, it's bad etiquette to bring your soundboard on another show. Like, that's not, I'm trying to be.
Next time, bring it. I want it. Hey, man,
all right.
Thanks for joining us. And also, I didn't tell you this. This is a little bit of heads up. I want at least also a tidbit of what you thought of Moon Knight. But I want to focus on the title for today, the meat, as we call it over here.
The meat.
And just so you know, Imran, I don't know if you've ever met Scotty Scoop. He's one of our co-hosts here on the show now. You have met the Giggler, and then back again, also on the show for the second time, local legend and artist Stephen Walden.
Nice. Now, honor. Nice to meet all you guys.
All right, Imran, we're going to give that spoiler alert for Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange 2 is here. We haven't even talked about it yet in our show. It's going to be about an hour from now. So you're getting us warmed up for our episode with this. This is a special treat for our Patreon patrons. This is a special treat to any viewer that's watching us on Twitch right now. What I'd love to hear from you, Imran, if you could give us a little bit of a spiel on what you thought of this movie. Doctor Strange is back. The last time we saw him was Spider-Man No Way Home. Tell us about what this movie experience was for you, and we'd love to have a rating from you. We use a 4.0 scale, but we'll happily convert for whatever you want to use.
All right, 4.0. I could do the math. I'll pull out my calculator. So we're talking full spoilers.
Full spoiler alert. You have the full green light. I want to dive right. I want to dive right in.
All right. Look, going in, there was a lot of hype to this movie, right? Obviously, you can't help but have read all the cameos, all the rumors. Like, I was being fed information from a listener of ours who's in a Facebook group with a supposed Hollywood insider. He's feeding me these giant rumor dumps, and I'm like, I don't know if I should read this. But I read it, and most of it was bullshit. So I'm glad to report. But I was like, man, if all this stuff happens, this movie is crazy. But based on what happens in the movie, the hype, the marketing, it's very interesting going into this. I enjoyed the movie. I had a lot of fun with the movie. Seeing Sam Raimi's visual style back on the big screen was probably the best thing out of this movie. What a treat. What a creative, he's got his bag of tricks. And yeah, he uses them a lot. We've seen them a lot, but they're great. They're great when he pulls out that swoopy point of view camera or the quick jump scares, right? So, much like, I think he set a nice feel for the Doctor Strange franchise moving forward. A lot of like what Taika Waititi has done with Thor, James Gunn has done with Guardians. Like, I wouldn't be mad if he gets a third movie. Right?
Yep.
So overall, fun performances, good performances. Danny Elfman doing the music, great visuals. I enjoyed it. However, on the other side of that enjoyment,
here we go.
I think the writing was probably the weak. It wasn't weak. It was hampering. There was certain choices, certain holes that hampered the movie, and marketing interestingly misleading because I did not think going in, Wanda was going to be the big bad. Right?
The big bad.
Yes.
Right? I don't think anybody. I think they made it seem like there was another threat there.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
But this was a team up of sorts.
Right. I absolutely thought that. So clever on their part. Yes, that was a good subversion of that. However, the trailers also made it seem like this movie was going to be a little more substantial, I think, for the MCU moving forward than it actually was. So Multiverse of Madness, I could have used a couple more multiverses, a little more madness, basically.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
It was there. I don't know if you've seen, there's a movie out there called Everything Everywhere All at Once. Have you guys seen it?
I mean, you just tapped right into, this is how we're on the same page, Imran. You just tapped into our show program. It's going to be one of the first titles we talk about in What You Watch, and I'll go ahead and give a spoiler alert for that too. And tell us.
I'm not going to spoil that.
That's okay.
But that one, you need experience. I don't know.
That's true. Actually, don't spoil it because I haven't seen it. So
the only thing I will say is they handle. That's a Multiverse of Madness. Like that title works for that movie. Just they handle it a little bit with more substance and thoughtfulness than in this movie. But fun movie. Love seeing Benedict back in the role. He's so good as this character, and just kind of how you learn that he's kind of a shit show in every universe. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I love how they brought a lot back from that first movie. You had the doctor that he worked with there with him in the wedding, calling him out like world's best surgeon, world's best superhero. I loved Christine Palmer, just that. I mean, I love you in every multiverse. That's the line.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah.
You probably enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, their chemistry's a little, I don't know, like the actors' chemistry's a little iffy, but I thought they could. I kind of felt like her and Mordo did get a little sidelined. Let's just get to the big thing. All right. The cameos. What the cameos we got. I love that scene. It was insanity. It was disturbing. And you did not expect them to be murdered in such fashion. And boy, was that good to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that fun?
Scotty Scoop brought up a good point. I mean, try not to give any spoilers here without talking specifics, but have you seen Invincible?
Yeah.
Right? You
yes,
see what I'm
so
saying?
it's very opening of the end of the first episode,
Right.
Omni-Man bit. So great subversion of that. So that is something. You know, I know they changed around a lot of the cameos in the reshoots, and there were supposed to be some other people. But that was great. And honestly, I think Elizabeth Olsen damn near steals this whole movie.
Yeah.
Like pretty much almost every scene she's in. I loved her performance in this.
Yeah, you mentioned like the wishy-washy kind of feeling with some of the actors. I feel like Wanda's character, you know, that was the one where I was like, okay, she showed up for this.
Yeah, she anchored that movie for sure.
And what's surprising is Sam Raimi has not watched all of WandaVision. He said it in an interview. They showed him just a few important moments. And so what does he do? He goes to Elizabeth Olsen and he let her take control of her character and put her where she needs to be, because she, you know, she's the one that's been on the journey, and he didn't even get to see the whole show, but it still worked.
Yeah, man. So good. Love hearing your thoughts on it. Those cameos are crazy. I think I was a little shocked to see that the Illuminati just gets massacred in like one literally afternoon.
Yeah.
It's hilarious and disturbing, but you know, it does set the stage that these characters exist in these multiverses.
It was definitely like the Marvel mood of like showing here's what we can do, right? Here's a little taste. All right, so now we can do anything.
I mean, straight up fan casting for Reed Richards.
I know, right?
100%.
Krasinski's in there.
They just went for it. They're like, we're gonna do it and we're gonna kill him. But they've established that the characters in the multiverse can look like exactly like each other or look completely different.
Yeah.
This leaves it open to just, I think they should recast the entire X-Men, give us a new X-Men cast from scratch.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
I jumped in a lot. Any questions from you, Giggler, for Imran on Multiverse of Madness, or any shout outs there?
Let's see. First off, great to see you again. Last time we did this, we were all on Zoom.
Yep.
So
yes, it was pandemic time still.
That's what's crazy. But we gotta hear your rating.
Yeah, let's dive right in and get that.
What I want to
Let's get Multiverse of rating from Imran.
Okay, overall thoughts. And that's the thing, is I enjoyed the movie. I thought it could have been bigger. They could have pushed it a little. Great. The ending was a little rushed.
What's your biggest problem with the movie?
Man, I would. Oh man, that's good. I don't know. I guess a little more characterization for America Chavez also would have helped.
Yeah, for sure. Like they were like, Carrie said it. My fiance, she said, I guess they asked this girl mainly like, can you run really well?
Yeah. Can you do Tom Cruise running on screen? I mean, she's 14 years old, right? So she did a great job at 14.
Yes.
But she's going to be important. What an important power to have. Like we put her in the Young Avengers. That is a useful superpower, right?
Oh,
there.
yeah. We're coming up on that for sure.
Yeah. So, okay. If you're going to do it out of 4, I will give it. Oh, man. How does that break down?
Go with your gut.
Whoa. I'm going to have to go like just.
What is your normal rating system? Because I have a conversion chart.
Whoa. It's out of 10.
Yeah, go ahead.
Taking way too long.
Go ahead.
Out of 10, I gave it a 7.5. What is that? That's like under
34. You give it a 3.
3
Oh,
point.
3. Oh, yeah.
It's probably like a 3.125.
Okay. Yeah. That's where an overall.
I'm gonna give it up. That's a great score.
Yeah, that's good. And I mean, it's right in the middle of like there's 28 Marvel movies.
For us,
which is
that 3.0 becomes a kind of a threshold of sorts. If you made it over the hump, you're okay. But if you're right at the 3, you just kind of cruised. And if you're in the 2s, some things kind of had some problems.
You've lost your scholarship.
And we've only had one on the show ever, and it was my fiance rating Morbius.
All right, I buy that. I can see where that goes. This is like converting to the metric system. I don't know why it's so hard for me. That it's out of the 28 Marvel movies, I will put it like right in the middle. But probably one of my more favorites of this recent phase 4. The theater experience is great. Nothing will ever top the experience of Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
And Endgame.
Yep.
And I don't know if I should have walked in expecting that, but I definitely had more joy in No Way Home, which is just joyful.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is for me. I mean, I heard your guys' episode on Spider-Man No Way Home. You guys did a fantastic job, of course, but man, what a nerd fest. Just those magical feels 70% of the time. I'm with you. I didn't feel that in this one. I was wowed at the views and what was happening, and it was almost like when it is over, I'm excited for what comes next.
Well, let me ask you guys real quick this question. Are the cameos getting a little too fan servicey, a little too not just thrown in for no reason for you guys?
I'm going to go to Steven Walden.
I don't think so. I was shocked by it. I don't know. You said earlier, that you feel so fortunate to live in the golden age, and I have that thought a lot. I have a lot of gratitude whenever I see these movies because I rember growing up on Nicholas Hammond's Spider-Man with the one.
Oh my God, me too. I have that on VHS tape. And the thing that kids don't know what it is.
And to me, the deadly dust. Here's the message there: kids don't build atomic bombs. It'll hurt your friends. But that and the Red Brown Captain America, things like that.
Yeah.
And for me to nitpick and to bitch about that stuff, it's just like, fucking enjoy what you got, man. It's like it is really good. Now that's me. Not to take away anybody else's on it, but for me, it's like, there were 2 times when I I sat forward in an excited manner and said, yeah. And one was with Krasinski as Reed. Yeah. And the other was the hit of the 90s X-Men cartoon when we saw Professor X's hover chair.
The yellow hovered up in the classic 90s hover chair.
Dropping the line from X-Men. The first
Days of Future Past. He says that to him younger self, Max McAvoy. No, I got vocal at Bruce Campbell, and people were like, right,
"Oh yeah, loved it.
It's over."
So,
the Evil Dead throwback with the hand attacking himself. Oh, loved it.
And a friend of mine,
if you are a Sam Raimi fan, that you've been waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
Yeah,
a friend of mine he's loves Sam Raimi, and he saw Strange. He was like, I liked it, but I felt like that a lot of Sam Raimi's Evil Dead stuff was gratuitous, and we've seen it before. And I had to say, pump the brakes, man. We have to think about people who are seeing this are not our age, who have no fucking clue.
No idea.
Exactly.
They didn't see Evil Dead 20 times on the Superstation in one day.
Yeah.
Like we know, like because I had someone who was, probably 15 years younger than me. We're probably all someone's friend who has to call to like explain what happened on this episode of Gotham. Who's this person or whatever. I'm that guy for a lot of my friends. And she was like, I didn't understand the thing with the guy with the hand and it beating him up. And I had to explain, I've seen that movie where he's fighting his hand.
Yeah. So, I thought it worked even just like, I'm not really that familiar. It worked on its own for me. I was like, this is great. Bruce Campbell's just punching himself at a hot dog stand.
Love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Pizza ball stand.
Yeah, pizza balls.
Pizza balls, right. Those look delicious.
Count me in for pizza balls more than anything.
Red.
All right, Imran, before we let you go, I want you to give us a 1-minute take and your rating of the entire series of Moon Knight. If that's not too much pressure, let it go.
All right. Moon Knight, probably now in top 3 best Disney Plus shows. I really enjoyed how different it was. The Arab representation was also great. The authenticity, I really appreciated that. The Oscar Isaac acting his goddamn ass off.
Man,
it's probably the finest acting we've seen in any of these Disney Plus Marvel shows to date. Overall, it managed to keep it really compelling and interesting. The ending was great. Again, a little rushed. These endings get rushed all the time. Same thing happens in Doctor Strange, but leaving it open for another season or something. We don't know where he's going to be, but holy man, I really enjoyed the Moon Knight. More of a character study than a superhero show, but I love both parts of it. And just, man, Oscar Isaac, episode 5, going through his memories. Amazing. So good.
Throw a number on it.
Okay. If you're going to convert, this one, I'll give like a 3.5, 3.5.
Woo!
Yeah. Hot. I still love WandaVision the best. I don't know why. I love classic sitcoms. It's a very special show still. And then this is like tied, I think, with Loki for me as number 2.
Well, and I think that's a great segue. Not only do you have the Jock and Nerd podcast, you have a TV series podcast.
Yes, the other show I do weekly with my sister is a Perfect Strangers rewatch podcast. Now, you guys are all probably too young to remember Balky.
I remember Balky.
Balky Bartogomos, Larry Appleton. We're literally doing a rewatch, watching every episode. It's called Dance of Joy. You can find it at danceofjoypod.com. And really, because we watched it growing up as kids, we discovered it again 35 years later. And we're like, this show was still really funny. Oh my God, the chemistry these guys have, unbelievable. So we're having a good time. It's very, very 80s niche, but I feel like the 80s are coming back in style a little bit.
They totally are. They're very back.
Perfect
Right?
Strangers. I want to chime in. It has one of the best slapstick episodes ever with when they're trying to move a piano upstairs.
The piano movers is fantastic.
It's Looney
yeah.
Tunes meets Lucy meets all
Yep.
these sitcom tropes. So yeah, great watch.
Yeah, at like Laurel and Hardy,
Yeah.
Three Stooges. But they're really like smart. Both of those guys went to like Stanford acting or whatever, and they're Shakespearean actors. Lots of fun references. The crazy thing is we have to stop and explain things that, like, if you were a kid now, you'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, what is a videotape? And then you gotta like explain what that is. That's the fun part.
All right, and then the last thing I'll ask you before we go, so this will be a teaser for you fans that are interested in checking out the Jock and Nerd podcast, something that's coming up later in 2022. Imran, what title are you looking forward to most for the rest of the year?
Oh man. Well, Marvel's got two more things coming out. Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm looking forward to a lot to see where this is Taika's second movie, right? So I expect him to make it even bigger, even more fun. And I love that style he put in the first one. Had to grow on me a little. It was a little too slapsticky, but like the more I watch it, I'm like, this movie's just fun. It's just got great style. So yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther, every big major superhero movie. We're getting a lot of them this year and a lot more next year. We discuss and review and geek out over.
And I promise you, it could inspire you to make a podcast.
Oh, stop.
It's one of the first podcasts I listened to when I lived in Chicago. You're based out of Chicago, right?
Absolutely.
And that was where I was listening when I first heard these guys. They do a great job. You put on a great program. I see all the hard work that you, Rug Boy, Anthony, tell them all hello. And we got to do another collaboration soon. Hope you would come back and join us again here at Mostly Superheroes.
Absolutely, man. You guys keep talking your passion too. Like I feel it right back. I can say the same exact thing about you guys. Always fun to get different takes and hear people's geek passion.
Imran, we'll see you next time. Check out Imran at the Jock and Nerd podcast. We'll see you later on, man. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey, buddy. That's awesome.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. You just heard the full review, recap, some ratings here, diving deep into the storylines, getting big into what the ramifications are. The MCU is vast. It's not slowing down, and this is a movie that just probably got you 10 or 15 titles over the next 10 years. We cannot wait to keep talking about it. We'll talk about it again one day. With that, let's go ahead and get into what's coming up on the show. A lot happening. I mean, by far our biggest episode yet. And by biggest, I mean probably easily our longest. Steven, I kept you probably about an hour past when I told you. I'm sorry about that. I hope you don't have any plans that you've been missing out on.
No, I played a role in that by talking, so I'll take the L on this one.
Well, I'm the one that put a microphone in front of your face, so I may have asked for it.
It's true. So it's your fault. It was Logan all along.
Let's dive right into this right away. Coming up this year, I got some titles on the screen. It doesn't have to be on the screen, Steven. Tell us what you're looking forward to most this year.
She-Hulk.
That's it. Not even up there, and you knew it.
Yeah, but I'm excited about Miss Marvel. See where that's going.
Yep.
But yeah, the Jurassic stuff again. One of those that I know that the Jurassic World franchise is flawed, but goddamn, I love it.
God,
it's so much.
Oh, we watched the last two new ones, and we're like, oh, these are great. And this third one, and we saw the trailer in this movie.
Yeah, same.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
looks like this is the Jurassic Park for me. It's like this is the movie we've always been waiting for.
Right, they were closing it up.
It's
like
just
in all the
in
characters
the streets
back.
too, like in the streets, in the cities. Like that's what I've always wanted.
The first Jurassic World movie was one that I wanted because I saw it as a functioning park, and I'm like, I want to go there so bad.
Yeah,
I want that to be a thing, and so, so I'm really excited about that too.
Okay.
But She-Hulk for sure. We haven't got anything on her. So
when does that come out?
It's sometime this year.
Yeah, I think maybe fall.
I'll have to check. I'm surprised it's not up here. I thought I had done a full.
They haven't put a date.
Right, that's what it is.
And,
but they're saying 2022.
Wakanda Forever comes out soon, and we haven't got anything on that either.
Yeah, I think they're going to start playing it close like they did with Thor.
They've done that typically.
2 to 3 months out, you might get a teaser.
And Thor, supposedly the trailer was only released. It was felt very rushed. It was a short trailer because Walmart fucked up and released some of the toys.
Yep.
On
that
in the
always
aisles.
happens.
And they're like, oh,
it's usually Lego that does it.
Lego's pretty bad for spoilers too.
And I did see the Thor trailer.
Yeah,
It came on. I
couldn't avoid it.
I was sitting next to Scotty, and it came up, and I go,
Guess I'm watching this.
guess I'm watching this trailer. And that was it. That was the first time I saw it on IMAX. I mean,
buddy.
as far as a good way to see a trailer.
Yeah, what'd you think about that?
I thought it was kind of weak. I thought,
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I'm such a fan of this show, and like this seems like so cheesy. I'm sure the movie will be so great. The only thing I worry about is like Taika Waititi is like he's funny and everything, but like he's also like not all the way my cup of tea. And I also feel like he's like, I love it because I want to be like this. Is just like as weird as I can get, you know. He's like diving in to the weird.
Oh, after the success of Thor 3, I'm sure they told him this is yours.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, that was the trailer. It was a teaser. I know this movie. I mean, this is my most anticipated film. Nothing's changed. I can't wait. Giggler, what are you looking forward to? What we talking? What Scotty Giggler? What we talking about next? That's a good thing to highlight. Obi-Wan Kenobi's coming up here.
Obi's next here at the end of the month.
Yep.
I mean, we're only 2 weeks away. I think
That's
2 or 3 weeks away.
Yep. And then we'll have. I mean, Thor's in July.
I think I'm on the same boat as you, Thor.
Thor is your most
hoping
anticipated
it's
now.
On the level of Ragnarok. That's all I'm asking. I don't need it to be any better. Just be on par with that.
I am pumped. It looks good. I shouldn't have. I mean, it's not that it looked bad. It just.
How did you feel about Ragnarok?
Ragnarok is
one of his favorites.
It's definitely.
And you're afraid of getting more of that.
I mean, it was no.
It took him
I
to
to
the
be very
line.
clear.
He's afraid of going over the line.
No, I want to be very clear. I think the movie's going to be a high 3 point something. The teaser was just. I thought the teaser was kind of weak.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you're criticizing the trailer, not
exactly like the parts they showed and the way they cut it. I was like, that's what you're showing us.
I'm okay with that.
But I think
trailers give away too much now.
I
think
agree.
this is a thing where you can't even trust the trailer.
That's probably what's actually happening. Is I'm mad I saw it.
Yeah.
we didn't even see the villain, so I don't even call it a trailer. That's just
But I mean,
show
all right,
Christian
here,
Bale.
spoiler alert for the trailer. I'm just gonna say this. I mean, just like showing Natalie Portman with the come back together hammer. I'm mad that I saw that.
Yeah. Well, we have known about that for a very long time.
I mean, from words, but like to see it
from words.
Yeah. Like
I know.
people
I know.
saying
What is this
it.
news source?
Yeah. That would have
from
been
like you know, like Kevin Feige making the announcements and like saying this is gonna happen.
You're
and
mad
it's
you
like,
saw it.
I'm totally mad I saw
Well, next
it.
time, close your eyes. It'll just
You
be a
said you
sweet
thought-
child
I
of mine
should've.
video.
I should've.
You thought that was
there it
too
is.
much.
It was too much, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I'm mad about the amount that was in it. Yeah, it was just that one part. I went like this, and Carrie goes, "What?" I go, "I guess they're just gonna show us that." Like, what do we need to see that for? Like, let's wait for the movie.
Right.
Start coming to the theaters late. You got reserved seating.
Well, or like Eternals when you showed up early and there weren't any previews, and the movie had started 5 minutes early.
Yeah.
I went to it.
We missed the crawl, the opening crawl.
The opening crawl, which never happens. All right, man. Yeah, we'll be back, of course. New episodes on Sunday, on Patreon, Monday, everywhere else. We're doing live shows on Twitch right now. Can't believe we're still there. If you stuck with us, we appreciate you. Go get some merch. We are doing a lot more with music, events, and give. We want you to go to our website and tell us about your charities. Tell us what music you want to be hearing and featuring. We're trying to get in touch with more artists to bring onto the show. We need to change music almost just to artists because we've had 2 artists now on our last 2 guests, Steven and then Katie Goodrich. And then that's what I want to end with here, man. I want to hear from you, Steven. Did you have a good time today?
I did.
And will you come back?
Absolutely. Yeah. Whenever you'll have me, whenever you need me.
Tell people where to find you.
StephenWalden.com. Check me on Instagram at Stephen Walden. If you're in the greater St. Louis area, come to the Fan Expo this weekend. I'll have a booth set up and raffling off some artwork that you can win. You can also see some of my artwork in person for yourself, the cool 3D effect. I'll have prints starting at just $25. So just come on out, say hi. If you say you heard me on this or watch this on Twitch, I'll give you a print for free.
Whoa!
Nice.
A mostly superheroes promo.
Nice.
I didn't say what print it would be, so
That's hey, free's free. Giggler, I mean, give us a sign off, and I never tell you guys. I never was never part of the show before to tell people where to find you online, but I want to give you the floor to share where people can find you online if you want to stay anonymous and hidden in the world, Andy.
Never. I'm already too famous.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Talk to the fans. What do you got?
At ahun6767 on all socials.
That's easy.
Yes.
Wow.
Give them a
That's
sign
also
off.
my gamer tag, so I'm assuming That's yours is.
Oh man, I almost forgot.
same.
Andy got me a present.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
man,
better
here
open
we
it.
go.
I wasn't gonna let you forget.
Andy got back from Mexico. How was Mexico, Andy?
Oh, it was great. I'm just a little bit burnt still.
Yeah, you're pretty red. You don't look like the sun is your friend.
But sometimes you drink too much tequila and forget to put stuff on. I don't know.
And the present is
It's
Mexican
Superman.
skeleton Superman.
Yes, sir.
And a
Nice.
and a dog.
That's crypto.
Crypto.
I guess he does have a little cape on there. Thank you, Andy. I mean, look
Nice.
at
That's
this.
cool.
You know, saw that in the airport and I was
Boom.
like, I know right where this belongs.
Right
I love
here.
it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
right
buddy.
in the studio. All right, we'll give the fans a sign off.
Well, yeah, I'm really tired right now. It's past my bedtime.
Yep,
But we do it for you because we love you.
that's so right. Scotty Scoop.
This was a great episode. So long. A marathon. I love it. I wish every episode was like that.
Did you like packing it in like that?
Oh, yes.
We always try to keep it tight. I even bragged to Steven. I was like, we keep it moving. It's usually an hour and a half tight.
I knew I was gonna fuck that
We
up. So.
we have
Well, I told him, I was like, we're putting Moon Knight in.
an extra guy,
Yes.
an extra What You Watching, 3 episodes of Moon Knight.
A surprise. I mean, yeah.
Huge. Yeah, we had the
Surprise
guest.
Yes, Imran, Jock and Nerd, thanks for coming on. We really did try to make it happen. I think, Steven, once we knew you were coming on, we wanted to make it happen big. So I think we did.
It was great. I enjoyed it.
All right, until next time, folks, thanks for joining us. This has been Mostly Superheroes. We can't wait to nerd out about the stories. Come back and see us. Join us at mostlysuperheroes.com, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.